shop today and get your exclusive Winter Equestrian Festival gear. Wellington International Shop, end of the season sale is happening now, so be sure to stop in and visit to receive 50% off of all purchases through March 31st. So hurry on over. Today's competition is brought to you by Adequan. American Region Animal Health, maker of Adequan, is proud to sponsor today's Week 12 WEF Challenge, our Thursday feature here on the afternoon program. For over 30 years, Adequan has been trusted by veterinarians, trainers, and horse owners. You can visit adequan.com to learn more. Odyssey Waters are finishing up our course walk, and we'll get underway here in just about 6 minutes for the start at high noon with our $117,000 5-star Adequan Challenge. Just take you around briefly to the course as part of our first round action with a total of 16 efforts involved, 13 numbered obstacles that are involved in our Adequan Challenge course. As we start over the Oxer, which will be a foursquare Oxer located almost directly in front of our announcer stand, a quick left-hand turn over the Adequan vertical at fence number 2, and then up through a diagonal line as the Granges triple bar introduces them to the line that moves into the double combination, the Rolex double, and Oxer vertical, fences 4A, 4B. Slight left-hand turn over the Volvo Oxer at fence number 5, and up around in front of the Tiki Hut over the yellow wall at fence number 6 in front of our in-gate area, and directly down to the green and white Oxer at fence number 7. A right-hand turn down through the sideline in front of the gallery, and that is our triple combination location with a vertical Oxer, the palm tree triple combination at fences 8A, B, and C. Then a right-hand turn around by the palm tree at the Bainbridge Oxer at fence number 9. A left-hand turn over to number 10 heading towards the International Club at the Griffiths Residential vertical. And then a loop around to the home stretch over the Dodd Technologies fence 11. And again with the NetJets Oxer ahead of them at fence 12. And finishing up over the black and white Oxer located up in front of the Tiki Hut corner of our arena here today at fence number 13. 13 number obstacles, 16 efforts involved in our course designed by Olympic course designer Guillaume Major, and the time allowed is 75 seconds. Time allowed is 75. We are going to ask our riders to try to finish up the course walk, and we'll be underway here in just a moment. We have our brief opening ahead of us as well, and a field of 57 will face the first round test of a time for Stepwalk Formula. 5 riders in the top 10 in the world are with us here today, 20 in the top 48. So we do have a star-studded field that is involved in our 5-star competition. Our week number 12 is the Rolex week here at Wellington International, and the grand finale of our 13 weeks, the preview week and the fall weeks of our WEF for the 2024 campaign. We are going to ask our riders to wrap things up, finish up on the course, and we're about to get underway with our opening and on to the first course at high noon. So the world again coming to Wellington once again, in the world of top show jumpers, as we noted, with 5 in the top 10 in the world that are involved in our lineup here today, 20 in the top 48 as well. $117,000 purse at the 5-star level, brought to you by Adequan. This is the Challenge Cup, the WEF Challenge, coming your way here in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, as is tradition here in the United States of America, to play the anthem before every major sporting event, we now ask you to kindly please rise and remove cover as we honor the host country for the world of show jumping and honor the country of the United States of America. Thank you very much, and we are ready to get on the
Very good. Well, just almost into the afternoon as we go into our Adequan WEF Challenge Cup. Final one of the season as part of this Rolex week, but it is one of the biggest. $117,000 in the prize fund here, and as you can see from our Rolex clock there, it is a noon start. We've got 1 minute away from our opening course here, and a top-class field as we've come to expect. 57 riders going here, and one of the strongest fields that we've seen so far as part of the finale week of the Winter Equestrian Festival as well. They've also headed in for a whole group from Europe as well, just to shake up the local talent too. So we're seeing what comes out of this, and it is a very strong week. It's 5 of the world's top 10, 11 of the world's top 20, and quite a few in that top 30 group as well to keep it close. But that all becomes a little bit irrelevant, because all you need to know is they're all highly competitive, highly talented, and they are after the #1 spot. Why do you need the #1 spot here? Well, not only is it good prize money for this class, but also, of course, you go in reverse order for those that have been following throughout the season. Reverse order for the Grand Prix for our top 30 out of this. So whoever wins the WEF Challenge Cup gets the prime draw, gets the qualifying, gets the pole position for Saturday night as well for that $500,000 Rolex Grand Prix. Alongside me is Danny Waldman, once again, several times a 5-star Grand Prix winner here in Wellington. She knows what it's like. Danny, pressure's on.
Absolutely. This is a big class, not only, like you said, lots of prize money, world ranking points, but qualifying for Saturday night is top of everybody's mind. And it is a strong field of horses and riders out there today. #1 in the world is here, #2 in the world is here, and a bunch going down the list. So it's going to be, and it's going to take some big jumping today. I think it's a tricky track, very technical, a lot of twists and turns, big jumps. And Rolex Double has come out for the first time. So I think it's going to be a very good day of show jumping. Absolutely.
All the jumping boots are out. And first up is David Will of Germany and the Vogel and Will equestrians, My Prince van Dorpenheide. The Vogel part being that of Richie Vogel that comes up later on. Kicking off over the Horseware Island fence. Nice, easy one to start with. 142, 145. Vertical very early on at 155 at the Adequan. And then down here, Danny, this is our sort of first related line.
6.
Yeah.
Triple bar, 6. Oxer vertical. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. On a very sharp 90-degree turn, and now a right hand roll back to the wall by the end gate. 2, 3, 4, 5. A little patient 5. You can see put a little bend on it. Does 7 into the triple. 2 vertical, vertical. 1 stride coming out of the Oxer. Just a little bit shallow. You reach to get out. Those verticals slow him down. Now right-handed turn off the long side, across the middle.
Total of 13 fences on the course.
Yep, he does the Liverpool vertical there with the white poles, kind of right aiming into the VIP. Left-handed turn, the black skinny. 4 here. 5 to the last. Does have the last one down as well. We'll see what people do down the last, but this one has a very big stride.
Absolutely. 68.47 the time. Their time allowed of 75 seconds around here, which, again, we sort of talked about. Was it short? Sounded a little bit, but also we said it was a pretty efficient course to get around as well. So actually, you can see from that, it's a pretty achievable time from what David did.
Yeah, absolutely. David did a couple of the, he did all the main numbers, like I think we'll see primarily throughout the class, but he has a big stride. Covered the ground, but again, it's a lot of related distances, not much place to make up time, so I think the track is sort of set on that time allowed and seems very achievable.
Dara Kenny of Ireland and Grand Prix winning combination here before now. Carol Solux and the Kerry Ann LLCs, Kerry McCahill's Eddie Blue, the Dutch bred gelding by El Dorado, and again getting into a world's top group here too. And part of the world's top 20, Dara Kenny, again very much at home here, spends his winters here in Wellington. Yeah, we're going to see how this plays out in terms of numbers. As I say, pretty steady start here to get you going.
Yeah, exactly. Again, you start kind of 1-2 roll back, and then it's directly over to the triple bar, and then it's boom, 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 all connected. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Beautiful shot here. This horse has been tremendous for Dara over the last season. Does the 7 to the Vogel Oxer. Then he's very neat here, turning back, thinking about that time allowed. Jumps the wall. Does the 5. Very patient into these double verticals. Then he has to leg out. Great there. And now it's this right-hand turn. Oxer with the pinstripes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. To the Liverpool vertical. And then another rollback here. Again, nowhere to really kind of get going and gallop and make up time. It's all these rollbacks. Delicate everywhere. 4. Moves up in the 5. Beautiful through the last. Absolutely gorgeous round from Dara.
Yeah, very nicely done. 71.47, like we say. Okay for time. Dara Kenny gives us clear round number 1 with Eddie Blue. Really interesting. And that last line gets pretty interesting as well from there. Vertical over by the water features there. As you say, just on the 4 strides up there. 170 spread on 12, so big spread out there. And then the last fence actually narrowed up 1 meter 30, so just tightened up there as they're going near the in-gate.
Yeah, exactly. I think, you know, it walks sort of 5.5, 6 almost. And if people do 6, when the narrower the oxer is, that front pole very, very square, it makes the horses read it a little bit differently, and they think sometimes that it's a vertical, and it makes it easy to have that front pole of the oxer down. They're not worried about the width, but they are worried the fact that it is a little bit taller than a lot of the other oxers out there.
Amira BZ for the Grant Road Partners of New York, and Bea Manley, the past World Cup champion, Olympic medalist as well, class rider indeed, the gelding by Asker Z. Now a 10-year-old for Bea to take on this one. Of course, we've seen with a lot of success over here in the United States with Dasari, and of course recent European Championship teams as well. Now, as you say, 6 down here. Then it comes up 7.19 here, so it's a little bit tighter down into that double.
It is. It is definitely, you know, it walks because of the triple bar. I don't think it's riding quite as tight as it seems just if you based it off of distance.
Yeah.
Because that triple bar, they land a little bit shallow, and you need a little bit of pace to jump that oxer coming in. And he's looking good so far. He has to steady up. This is very delicate. Different materials. You can see how B is different than A and C. Gives the horses something else to look at, and it is that sort of beige. It matches the ground, as you could see there on the camera. And then again, you know, that white poles over the offset Liverpool vertical, just a difficult jump to jump. It's a bit on a curve. It's aiming right into the VIP tent, which is also white. And then he has the skinny down as well. Very delicate at the end, light materials. So he does the patient 6 there.
Yeah, going to finish on a score of 12, 74-33, but moving that one up this season, Amira BZ with Bea Manley of Switzerland, and so puts him on the 12 for the Swiss rider. We'll see where that puts them during the week. As I say, remember, qualifying into that Grand Prix, I think we'll probably get to our 40 with those here, but we'll see who's on the edge, see who's on the way out, and of course based across the week as well. Mimi Gotchman, the 19-year-old US rider, again, more into the 5 stars this season with Cosmos BH this time. And training with Dara Kenny here as well. They were out walking the track, giving lots of thoughts there. And Mimi based down in here in Wellington, Florida as well. Combination last year, top 3 in the 5-star Grand Prix up at Angelstone in Canada.
They've been such a good partnership all season long. Mimi's just been so strong throughout the season. And, you know, it's great to see her now just consistently jumping up at this 5-star level. So she starts off nice. This horse, a beautiful jumper. Horse was born in Zangersada. It was formerly ridden by Aiken Sato.
Oh.
Ooh. Just looked like he spooked a little bit, actually. You know, I don't know. That Rolex has the big kind of semicircle plank sitting on the ground there at the base of it. Just looked like Cosmos maybe took a look at it and didn't quite like. Strong ride there from Mimi. Good job to get it through there. Just surprised him, I think. I think he maybe didn't see it. He looked down at that plank and just shied away from it. Now she is looking back on track. And she's steadying up here. She stays out to really steady up to come in. A little bit of a touch at B, gets out nicely. And there, just looked like lost a little bit of energy as she took off. Didn't quite have enough push to get across the back. As you took off in front, you could see that he just didn't have enough power to kind of get across the back. And then she rides strong there in the 4, pushing that front pole out of the way. Jumps the last one well.
Finished on a score of 12-17 for time as well. 91.48 for Mimi Gotchman and Cosmos BH for them to go on to 4th place it stands at the moment. But unfortunately, that refusal puts quite a bit of time onto that as well. So we'll see how that shakes up during the week. Tiffany Foster now, and the world number 19, highest ranked lady rider. In fact, Tiffany winner of the NetJets Grand Prix earlier on this season, back onto week 3. And again, being a part of the teams for Canada in the last few months as well for those various Nations Cups. And then for Tiff with Electric this time. 10-year-old that is for the 5 Roosters. Well, actually was with Kent Farrington for a little while. He went very well with this horse into some of the spring shows as well in previous years. And now with Tiffany, with this mare by Emerald. And now we'll see how they handle it. 1 clear so far with Derek Kenny of Ireland and Eddie Blue around the course here. Designed by Guilherme Jorge of Brazil, designer of the courses at the Rio Olympic Games as well. So again, we've kept up with the high standard of course designing heading into the weeks here in Wellington. And again, he's got lots of options with colours, how it works. Actually, we've got a little feature with him this week on exactly that and his thoughts on how they play out. So that's one to catch up on. But an early rail for Tiffany Foster.
Yeah, early rail. And I think, you know, Guy is one of our riders' sort of favorite course designers. He's put some interesting courses out there, and this is a little bit unique. We just see a lot of rollbacks that we don't normally see. So exciting to see his courses all week.
Yeah.
Tiffany having A of the triple as well. And again, people concerned certainly of trying to qualify for Saturday night, but it will depend on how the whole field does, because sometimes 8 and 12 faults can get you in that top 30. It's just a matter, of course, how everyone else does. But Tiff just trying here to keep it together, leave these last few jumps up, moves up for the 5, gets over that one, but will have to settle with those 2 down.
Yeah, so it's going to be a score of 8, 69-66 for Tiffany Foster and Electric this time around for the Canadian. So still holding at the 1 clear, very early stage, 5 gone of this $117,000 Adequan WEF Challenge Cup here this afternoon. Good bit of breeze around. The breeze is increasing. There's all sorts of talk. We might get a little bit of rain at some point. We'll see. Fingers crossed it misses us. Yeah. But the American flag is flying pretty fervently above us right now from that point of view. But overall, a good week in prospect. Molly Ash-Corley and the ride now of Lucas Delanoux for the Oak Ridge Farm went very nicely yesterday as well.
Yeah, she had a super round yesterday, and I think it's set up nicely for today's qualifier. And again, yesterday was kind of a softer 145 class. This is a proper jumping class. I mean, this is set almost like it's its own 4-star Grand Prix, I would say. And they're really long at that, and then the horse just having the back pole and getting a little bit insecure, saying, ooh, I didn't quite like how that first jump out of the triple bar felt, and then Molly actually raised her hand saying, you know what, early trouble, and gonna call it a day before trying to attempt again. So Molly will retire within the round, and we are gonna see our next one coming in.
Absolutely, like I say, just to clarify, gets top 30 from this class. Just a reminder, it's one of our series that have taken place so far this season. The U25 was topped by Francis Derwin. Well done to him, and Ansgar Holster Jr. and Tom Watchman. Some of those coming through. Honey Grimes actually then goes up a class into this as well here this week, and so looking forward to seeing that. And we'll be heading on to our next. As I say, it's going to be 57 actually in total in the first round here of this Adequan WEF Challenge Cup.
Yeah, I was chatting actually earlier. I was saying that it's going to be hard to qualify for this week's Grand Prix, because not only a lot, 57 is maybe the most we've seen in our Challenge Cup for one of these 5 stars this season, but also such strong combinations.
Absolutely. Luis Fernando Larrazabal of Venezuela now. Victoria Hedematas Condara. Horse that he rode at the Pan Am Games last year as well, pretty successfully too. Got some really good experience down there in Santiago. And this is a good opportunity for them this week.
Yeah, I really have been liking this horse all season long. I think it's really an athlete, very talented, and Luis, good partnership, like you said, jumping the Pan Am Games, and so they've had great results already. But I quite like this horse. little bit off that, but just holding himself, jumps across it well. Again, number 5 coming up really quick after that double. It's a bit of an awkward bending line. Course today is particularly technical because you really need to pay attention because the jumps come up all related and they're coming up fast. You don't really have a place to breathe. Big stretch out there. A little bit of a touch with the front legs as he stretches across it, but gets it done.
Yeah.
And then that top pole of the white Liverpool vertical coming down again. I think that's going to be one of the trickier parts all class long.
Yeah, 158 vertical there, just short of the maximum that we'll see into the Grand Prix from that point of view. Final line here. So he just puts him a little bend, just catches the front bar of that final black and silver Oxer at the last, and leaves them at 71.97 with the 2 fences down. Finishing on the 8 there, goes into 4th place for Luis Fernando Larrazabal of Venezuela.
We saw an early clear, and now we're seeing a little bit more trouble.
Yeah.
Again, it was one of our stronger combinations, so it's nice to see that we do have one clear already, but we're still looking for that jump off.
Deceptively slick.
Yes, it was. That's a good way to put it.
And so Grant Sager now of the USA, and this is Frida, the mare by Belou de Rey for Grant, who's jumped on US teams before now, went over to Europe and competed on those in Spain and Portugal. Last year had some solid results as part of Major League jumping as well, based up in Adequan. And now takes us on to our next. This is going to be our 8th of 57 in total. Time-wise, they're coping with that okay, but again, you just you don't want to be hanging around anywhere.
No, exactly. You need to kind of stay on it the whole time. Time seems like it's right on. And like you said, I mean, they're all, you know, pretty much well underneath it, but yeah, you got to leave the jumps up also.
There's enough to do out there.
Yeah, exactly. And Grant having A and B down of the Rolex double early on. Just got there a little bit with a lot of pace and just kind of pushing that front pole out of the Oxer and the top pole. And a little block of the wall coming off, like you said.
But that's the nice thing of what he's done here. He's built a technical track, but it's not one that's taking everything out of you before the Grand Prix. It's just been really nicely pitched.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he needed to build it up to spec, but it's not tremendously large. It's really far more technical, so he's really testing the riders. And do they have the control? Do they have that ability to move the horses up, to shorten them, to have the athleticism, to jump the doubles and the triple, and just, you know, that's more what he's testing today, to see who really should be in for Saturday night, and then Saturday night he'll turn those screws.
You needed another gear again. Yeah. 73.68, total of 16 there for Grant Sager and Frida this time. One of the bigger tracks that they've jumped, and unfortunately comes out at 4 down for them. Takes us on to Michael Langmeier now of the US, the Rafty Farms Mimosa van der Rollebeek, the mare by Castellino van der Hille, for the 23-year-old. And again, it's been a strong year for her to get more and more outings and mileage into these 5-star weeks as well for Michaela, which has been a very good one to see. And now with this 12-year-old mare for her. Finished well in the Grand Prix at the tail end of last year as well in December to just get set up for this season. Jumped into the 5-star Grand Prix back into the early weeks here.
Yeah, she's been having a good season, very strong, getting great experience at this really high level. She's been pretty solid and competitive all season long. She can be a very fast rider when she wants to be. This horse, very scopy. Needs a little bit of extra time maybe to jump the jumps, so she has to give him the space. She'll have to steady up here. He has a big stride. Then she can add leg right at the end. Backs up beautifully. Little kick out behind over the vertical. Horse just a little extra effort to make sure he clears that. She. Mimosa's a she.
Yes.
Beautiful jump there. Yeah, you can see her really thinking about where that hind end is.
That just came up really nicely for them.
Yeah, exactly. Again, Michaela doing a good job, kind of holding her shoulders back, giving that extra fraction of a second for the mare to get her front end out of the way, and then following so the horse can finish with the hind end.
Which again, this round is a nice round here. We'll see where they finish time-wise.
Yeah,
They're going to be a little bit close.
They look a little bit patient on their time.
You couldn't do this in the Grand Prix.
So she does the 6 coming to the last, and unfortunately having the last one down. I was thinking already, she was tight on the time. I think she should do the 5, and she chose to do the 6, and it catches her out with that front pole and the time fault.
Yeah, it's 4 jumping 1 time there as well, so total of 5 for Michaela. But overall, as you say, you can see that as a progression. They'll just, as you say, get a little bit more up on the pace as they go through if they're going to go into the Grand Prix and go on from there. But 5 this time, and a good season behind them. Harry Charles, the 24-year-old world number 13, is next up for Great Britain. Been here with us a couple of weeks now, and also part of the team in Ocala last week for the British squad too. Casco Blue, gelding by Chaco Blue. 2 options for him this week as well. Aralyn Blue aimed at the Grand Prix as well for the world number 13. World Cup winner at the tail end of last year as well in La Coruña in Spain. World Championship bronze already to his name.
Yes, I mean, Harry's unbelievable young talent for the British team. Coming, of course, from the strong Charles horse family. But,
well, his father's a past winner of Grand Prix here as well. So.
Yeah.
But that doesn't guarantee everything.
No, it does not. And Harry definitely stands on his own 2 feet. He super talented rider. Incredibly competitive. Beautiful jump there. This horse has real high head carriage. Little stretch out. Good effort there on the horse's part. Really jumps up and away from those jumps. Just take a look at how he does it, how he does it on sort of takeoff. Sort of sets himself, pulls that front leg away from it, and then covers. Beautiful jump. 1 left to go. Moves up a little bit far away, but gets away with it.
And actually was just getting a little bit of thought, maybe time in the head as well, 73.99, but you say just got a touch further away from the last than they probably expect. We've talked about it's a 5, but you're stretching for the 5 a little bit, but it should be achievable. 6 suddenly starts to get really short.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a couple people do the 6, but it has not really worked out because you end up getting underneath that last jump. But the 5 is long. I mean, I walked it and didn't automatically think 5.
Yeah.
So you can see with Harry there, it got certainly. I mean, he landed and moved up for it right away, but it got long.
But what it got was a clear. That's the second.
That's all that matters. That's actually all that matters. It could be long or short. You got to leave the jumps
We can debate the last fence all day, but it stayed there. So 2 clears so far. Harry Charles of Great Britain and Derek Kenny of Ireland at this $117,000 5-star Adequan WEF Challenge Cup. Katie Diner now of the USA. The Grant Road partners out of the blue SCF for the rider who won the President's Cup at Washington last year as well. On the mare by Verdi, former ride of Shane Sweetnam very successfully too. And really, this pair very sweetly started off together too. They've really gelled very, very fast.
Yeah, I'm loving this partnership. I think it's one of the nicest partnerships that Katie's had in a long time. And they seem to really, like you said, gel nicely with each other. Out of the blue, jumps beautifully, suits Katie's riding. Really scopy. She's been careful. She's already jumped a lot of good clear rounds. I'm excited about this one. Beautiful shot there. You can see Katie just trying to fit it in. Steady. Then she can add leg. She'll have to add leg to get out. Real scopy there to get out. Beautiful. You need definitely a little bit of scope. Again, those double verticals, especially a 2-stride double verticals, really parks the horses a little bit. It really slows them down. So you need to come in a bit like Katie did, where you're not still kind of trying to steady at B, because otherwise C becomes very far away. Katie did a great job steadying in so she could add leg at B, so she was already moving up to C. This is looking beautiful.
Just a little close for time. Is it enough? No. 75-33, but again, you can see by the smile on her face, she's pretty elated with that anyway, and why wouldn't you be? But it is just the one-time fault to say, a fairly new partnership for them. So I mean, that's a good result in the bag.
Absolutely, I think they're going to be super excited about that again. She was just over that time allowed, And it was an absolutely beautiful round.
So it is from Katie Dine with a one-time fault to 2 clears so far. Derek Kenny and Harry Charles. Laura Kraut now of the USA, the Cherry Knoll Farms Bisquetta. 10-year-old mare by Bisquetta de Blue ZC. Let's get my teeth back in.
Yeah.
And let's move on because this is the horse actually she rode in the recent Nations Cups as well. Got some good experience with this horse too, and just really trying to give Biscuit a bit more exposure.
Exactly. I think just, you know, she's had a couple of other horses over the last year or so that were able to jump the 5 stars. And she's used Bisquetta a little bit more sparingly, and now she's really kind of stepping her up more consistently up at this level. And clearly very capable. Just got there a little bit early in the 6 strides. I think she wanted to make sure she got down there with power, and she just got there kind of rolling, and the balance was just a little bit on the mare's head as she took off, and just kind of rolling with that rhythm. So she pushes the front rail out of the way. Again, I think Biscuit not having necessarily a huge stride like some of the other big horses out here, so Laura just wanting to make sure she gets up the lines.
But not short of jump.
No, the jump is spectacular. I mean, if you see it, that is really, really a beautiful push at the jump, and looking really like a super one. Love to see the power, and it's a compact horse. You know, not so long head to tail. So she stays out for the 6. I mean, there is a little bit of bend there, so it gives her the space. Unfortunate earlier fault for her because that was actually quite a lovely round. Quite a lovely round.
It's contagious.
Yeah.
71.74 finishing on the 4 there, Flora Crouch and Bisquetta this time. So we're just going to put them into 4th place as it is at the moment. Katie Dinan on the one-time fault. Derek Kenny and Harry Charles with the 2 clears to date. And again, you can see that last line of case narrowed up that final fence. If you were coming down on that longer distance and you'd got to get across a 160 plus Oxford, that would suddenly become a long way.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think it's good that it's narrowed up a little bit.
It's all thought through.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he knew that a lot of people would choose to do the 5, and it's already looking long because of the distance. So if it was any wider, that's where a clever course designer knows exactly what is going to happen and anticipates that.
And as you say, for some, when you get a little tightened up one there, they start to read it as a vertical.
Yeah.
And it makes that a little bit harder as well.
Exactly.
Let's go on to Keane O'Connor. He's used to all the various tests that are put in front of top riders, and this Fancy de Cagan for the Coolmore show jumping for the French-bred stallion by Baden de Cagan. 2 now for the Irish rider, part of their winning team just last week in Ocala on the Nations Cup there as well.
Yeah, spectacular performance. And this horse, again, just 9 years old to be jumping this high level, but it is really a special talent. Look at that, just so athletic. Beautiful jumps there through the triple like a gymnastics. A little bit strong ride there. You can see the horse is jumping high key and having to add a little extra leg, make sure that the horse gets across the back. Good round jump around that. Moves up for the 4. And he's far away there, but gets a big enough height that he gets across it and get another clear.
Absolutely gives us the 3rd clear there, Keane O'Connor and the nice-looking 9-year-old stallion, Fancy de Cagan.
Keane looking like that was work out there. He's
yeah,
taking
exactly.
a deep breath at the end, but giving a good pet. Saying,
yeah.
Good boy.
So 2 for Ireland, 1 for Great Britain in the early stages of this $117,000 Adequan WEF Challenge Cup. Andrew Bourne's now of Ireland. And with Sea Top Blue, the Irish-bred gelding by Chaco Blue, that we've seen him win the NetJets Grand Prix here in Wellington before now, been on to winning Nations Cups before now too, both in the US, and also part of the teams over in Europe, including at Hickstead in Great Britain, and on the winning lineup in Vancouver before now in Canada. Really nice, consistent combination together as well. Be interesting to see what they do today. But again, as Andrew was talking to me the other day, you know, really he's got this horse at this level.
Yeah, exactly. He sort of just has the one, and I know he'd had a number of offers, people wanting to buy it, and he said, you know what, I love this horse, and it keeps me at the top of the sport. I can't replace him easily. Why not keep him and actually do some of the sport, which is what we all love. And it's nice that he has him, and it's been such a super combination with the 2 of them. They've been tremendously successful, winning so many classes over the years. like I always say, you gotta also have a little bit of fun in this life.
Yeah.
Keep it C-top blues. Fun for Andrew.
Good through the triple cut. That's
Yeah.
actually ridden really well so far, that line.
It has. The triple is actually riding quite well. He's thinking about time allowed here. He really takes the first one out of the distance, out of the corner there to the first distance. Like you said, that triple line is riding well. I think the way that the distance is set up after the 5 stride, the steady 7, sets people up nicely for the double verticals coming into the triple. 1 left to go. He looks fine on the time. Does the steadier 6, but gets over it.
Yep, so another one for Ireland. It's 3 for Ireland now with clear round number 4 coming out of the group. It's 3 for Ireland, 1 for Great Britain. Andrew Bourne's joining the list with his own in the QBS Equestrians. C top blue, another top performance from them. As we said, they're pretty consistent, and they've just proved us right. Thank you very much for that, Andrew.
Exactly. Good job. Thanks for making us look good.
Yeah, there we go. So he will head on out and see what his plan is. Another of the Irish coming up is Conor Swale of Ireland and the Man of Arms. Castorano.
He was our winner, of course. Conor not on Castorano, but Conor was our winner yesterday.
Yes. Yep. Kicked off with the first win of the week, so first serious win of the week from that point of view.
Absolutely. All right, so looking like we're just on a slight little pause here, waiting for our next one to come on up. Again, on the 4 clear at the moment, waiting for yesterday's winner to make their way up. Perhaps a little delay in the warm-up arena. But it's taken some jumping today. It is certainly not not the easiest class out there. We've seen obviously a couple of good rounds and good combinations go clear, but it is taken some jumping with the early double, the delicate Liverpool vertical, and that last jump being certainly a tricky one.
Absolutely. So Conor Swale, who's well been right up there. He was world number 5 not too long ago as well. He's been a consistent top 10 rider. World 21 right now. Again, going through that time in California, now making a visit back to what was his home base for most of the winter previously. And again, for him has been a building of the next set of horses for him.
Yeah, again, he had a couple of really top horses where he got into the top 5 in the world and then was over in the U.S. and now building up a couple of new horses, but never seems to stop winning.
That's the key.
Exactly. He's
That's the
very,
key.
very, very good at
Yeah,
that.
we talked about that a little bit last night on WEF Weekly as well. If you haven't watched it already. Paul O'Shea coming up for Ireland. We've got US, Colombia, Sweden, Mexico, Israel, Canada, all in the mix yet. But the Irish strong so far. Just there we get. Gives them space over that fence.
Yeah, I mean, the horse is jumping huge. You can see Conor thinking about his upper body, just wanting to make sure that he, 1, stays with the jump, and 2, stays out of the horse's way. Using a little bit of his speed for that jump because he's jumping so high. He wants to make sure he keeps the pace up so the horse doesn't just jump up, jumps across as well. Beautiful athletic move there. This is a very, very athletic horse. Jumps that great. He looks like he's well within our time. He's been quite neat the entire way around. Big jump, kicks out a little bit behind. He does the steady 6, but he gets it done early so he can even add leg at the end. That was absolutely beautifully done there by Conor.
Yeah, it gives us 5 clears. The Irish looking pretty dominant so far, but then they have come up quite a lot in the early stages. So there's plenty of room for the other nations to come into this equation yet. But there, Conor Swale and Castorano give us clear round number 5. Now we're off to Ireland. Is this Dublin?
Yeah, exactly. Irish after Irish after Irish.
Paul O'Shea and the eye candy jumpers Spy, the gelding by Centadel, the 10-year-old. For again, a rider who's competed right the way through to the World Championships. Actually a Grand Prix winner this season as well. Here in Wellington, won over on the field a few weeks ago now too.
That was a difficult class. He was only there was only 3 clear in that 4-star that he won, and it was very challenging. And, he did an excellent job that day.
So again, this would be a step up for this horse as well now from
Yeah, I don't
We've
believe
seen-
this horse has jumped quite this level
Yeah.
yet. And again, we were talking yesterday, there's 5 stars and then there's 5 stars. And this is going to be one of those 5 stars that is just real jumping right out the gate.
The
from day
5
one.
pluses.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little extra star at the end. Jumping beautifully. Lands, gallops there. He's a little bit wider in this track than maybe some of the other people. We'll keep an eye on his time. And they are also just getting there a little bit early in the 6. Similarly to what happened with Laura Kraut. Very kind of similar thing there. Just getting up early and having that front pole on the way up. Meaning that they were a little close and didn't have enough space to get out of the way. Moves up there across the 5 stride. And again, this triple, like you said, jumping beautifully. We're not seeing tremendous faults come down in the triple. They all seem to be set up nicely and able to handle the steady gymnastics through the middle of the course. It doesn't come too late. It's number 8, A, B, and C. Sometimes we've been seeing the triples come at like 12 and 13, and that's always a harder test. But a couple of delicate last jumps to jump. That looked like he almost did 7 there.
It's certainly squeezed
yeah,
it
I'm
up.
not sure what he did there. Looked like he did sort of the double act, but it does pick up a couple of time faults, perhaps because of that to the last.
Well, set 5 time faults there, so picked up across cumulatively 4 jumping 5 time there for the combination for Ireland. Spy and Paul O'Shea, like we say, a step up for them there too, so really interesting to see, but more to come from them through the season. Now Nasser of Egypt, the Evergate Stables, Jiminy Cricket, the Westphalian gelding by Colestus for Niall. Several good wins behind him this season. Last year's Queen's Cup winner at Spruce Meadows as well. Several times $1 million Grand Prix winner too. So he's got plenty of mileage there. Jiminy Cricket just been moved up. Igor has been his top ride the last few seasons. Of course, went right the way through to the Olympic Games. But Jiminy is like, come on, off you go.
It's been this has been a great partnership all season, and very, very athletic, leggy kind of horse, and just more and more consistent in the results. So I think this is Niall has a really strong group of horses at the moment.
Yeah.
It's nice to see.
Yeah. Another nice one this morning, jumping the back rings as well. But, you know, that's where you go and have a look around. That's why this show's always interesting. You go and see what else they've got.
I think I was looking at 14 rings. Is there 14 rings or 16 rings? There's really a tremendous number.
It varies depending on the day, but yes.
Exactly. We got pony rings and back rings.
I think about 16's about the max.
16,
But anyway,
yeah.
if we've got the other venue going as well.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a lot of rings going. But it's great. You can see so many different levels of horses.
Now, back to this wall. The wall's been fairly innocuous so far.
Yeah, we saw one have a little bit block off the top of it, but in general, that wall's not playing such a big role. Funny, all season long, we'd been talking about how the wall's been coming up very, very early, like number 2 or 3 in the course. And here it's number 6, a little bit later, but it is off of a blind kind of turn. But they all seem to be jumping it quite well today.
Last part of that triple combination just travelled on through that.
Yeah. Yeah, it has that front pole of C.
Again, they could.
Oh.
Again, there's going to be the thoughts on qualifying as well, and it is going to be 71.34, goes into 11th so far for Niall Nasser and Jiminy Cricket. As I say, there's also top 10 to come from tomorrow's class as well, but this one will also determine the order for the Grand Prix on Saturday night in terms of the latter part of the order. So if you're going at the end of this class, you're the winner, then you're going to get the prime spot on Saturday. And it'll be interesting this year, like you say, there's 50 or so in this class. Often to get into the Grand Prix has been fairly straightforward. I feel this year is going to be a little bit harder.
I think this is hard to get into this Grand Prix this year. 56 jumping today, good combinations. And it's an interesting class because people are taking the risk. They're not necessarily jumping their top horse in this class, wanting to save their horse for the Grand Prix, but there's the risk that you don't qualify for the Grand Prix and then you saved your horse for nothing.
Taking us on to Alex Volpe now, last year US team rider, over to Europe as well with Gracieux de Pachy today. Many of those successes too with Belinda. That's just a little touch on the back of that Rolex double. So 790 through there in terms of meters. 7.9.
7.9.
Back to the wall. This walk, I mean, okay, it was 5 up here, and it walked a pretty straightforward 5.
Yeah, I think the 5 walked pretty normal, honestly. I didn't sort of question whether or not it was going to be super tricky. Again, it's by the end gate. That's always plays a factor. You know, it depends if the horses get a little bit distracted. Sometimes they can jump up real high at the wall and land shallow, where you have to move up in the 5, and it is a delicate oxer coming out. But honestly, it's riding quite well. She does have a part of
the last part of the combination.
Back pole of C. Otherwise, strong ride here for Volpe. A horse makes a good effort there to stretch. She gets right to the base there, and unfortunately, just underneath the last one, and the mare can't get out of the way, or Gelding can't. Can't get out of the way. It's a Gelding.
It's
Gelding
a Gelding.
Cannot get out.
Yeah. And so overall gives them a score of 874-7, and last fence adding into that group. Unfortunately, not quite the finish they wanted. Finish on a score of 8. They'll have to wait and see for Alex Volpe and Gracie de Pachy, and Roberto Terran now, and his own DSP Callis there by Cas Kenny. Now, he jumped Desok Tooth yesterday, which was the horse he actually has been second in this Rolex Grand Prix before on. It was the horse he rode at the Pan Am, so I'm guessing he's going to keep his powder dry for then.
Yes.
For Saturday night.
Yeah,
And this has been a really good horse for him this season as well, so he's got 2 options now.
Yeah, exactly. He's got a couple of really nice ones, and nice that he has the 2, and just like we were talking about, opting to do this horse to try to qualify and then save the other one for Saturday night. You know, some people will use the same horses today as they'll use for Saturday night, but a lot of people opting to sort of
move it around
and take that risk and hope that they can qualify on these horses.
Ooh.
Has an early fault. We have not seen that come down yet.
Now that puts pressure on, because that's gone as well.
Yeah, exactly. It has B coming out of the Rolex double. Just jumped a little bit low, kind of rolled its front end over that pole. But we've seen the 5 clear at the moment. Only a couple with the time faults and 4 falters, and a lot of 8 falters. So if he can stay on the 8, he'll still stay pretty high up in those rankings. Ooh. Unfortunately, back pole there. Just looked like he was a bit on an angle as he jumped across that. The horse just kind of unfolded a little bit early. And then the skinny goes as well.
So yeah, it's going to be down to tomorrow, I think, based on that. I think he's going to slide by the last fence. He knows that's not going to be good enough to running into a qualifying place.
Exactly.
16 at that point, so deciding to retire for Roberto Terran and DSP Callis. Like I say, they do have a shot tomorrow. The top 10 come out of tomorrow's class of those not qualified in there, so they'll go through 10 of that and then back to the list from today if they still haven't filled their 40. But I have a feeling they will have done.
I think they will. I think qualifying, everyone's going to be calling and checking. If they're on the edge and a little bit on the cusp, they're going to be saying, who's jumping, who's not jumping,
That's a whole different video to be made one day.
The panic of riders.
The drama down in the admin office. Poor Liz down there does an amazing job, Liz Soroka. But
yes, she does.
They're going to be checking in with her to see where we're at.
Exactly.
And so on to our next now, Caitlin Campbell, Castlefield Cornelius. And again, Caitlin doing a good job last week in the big classes in Ocala.
Yep.
But World Equestrian Centre there as well, now bringing that down here. And this was a horse that we've seen a little bit more of, stallion by Kornet Obolensky. And again, it's built a nice partnership for the 3P Equine Partners, as it's put, which is based over in California much of the season too.
She's been riding really, really well. This horse, very scopy. A little bit shift there, left out of the triple, but luckily stays up. Gets over the delicate Liverpool vertical. Just a little bit tight there at the skinny. Gets away with it. And then steadies up for the 6 at the end, gets a beautiful jump at the end, and stays within, and that will add her name to the good list.
Absolutely, very nicely done for Caitlin Campbell. Like we said, she's been on a good streak so far, and again, confidence builds confidence.
Yep.
And Caitlin Campbell and Castlefield Cornelius looking really tidy there as they get the clear here too for number 6, and first for the USA there, so that's ticking the box too. And on to the world number 1, talking about success breeding success, the World Cup champion, world champion, Olympic team, European team, and World Championship gold as well. It is Henrik von Eckermann, who has a very full cabinet already, but would like to keep filling it. The portfolio horse is Glamour Girl, the mare by VDL Zorocco Blue. And again, if you want to know some of his secrets, you can watch WEF Weekly that we did last night, but it's all still available on USCF and on Wellington International. And Henrik was on there, as was Rodrigo Pessoa, as was Lucy Davis as well, all in discussion. And so some good insights there if you want to have a little look at that one. That's still up there, you can see from last night. But the key is also to watch him in action, like we were saying lots yesterday. Get down to the arena, come and watch the world number 1 and world number 2 and all the world number 10s and any of them in this class going in this, because this is a lesson every day.
Absolutely. Let's enjoy this round and see if we can learn anything from world number 1. This horse has a lot of blood. Henrik does a great job just kind of organizing it, controlling it. Little half halt when he needs to. Gives her nice, ooh, I was going to say, he gave her good space there. But unfortunately, having A of the triple coming in. But
he, although that won't get him the leading spot in terms of Saturday, he is in the position he's pre-qualified as the world champion. So,
yes,
and the World Cup champion. He's double pre-qualified, I think. So.
So he's not worried necessarily about qualifying, but you know, again, this $117,000 class, he was interested in
cash.
Yeah, he was trying to win some money today.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the mare just a little bit quick throughout, just kind of hurrying, and has 3 down.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's going to be 12 there. 16th position so far for Henrik von Eckermann and Glamour Girl. Aim is Khaleesi into the Grand Prix on Saturday night. Like I say, he's pre-qualified for that, so he will be in whatever happens. It's about 6 riders, I think, pre-qualified in here this week, which is our largest number we've seen all season. It basically means that they're individual medalists at Pan Ams, Europeans, or Olympic Games. So the likes of Ben Mayer, the likes of Ken Farrington, the likes of McLean Ward, they're all in. Daniel Blumen, the world number 17 now with Gemma W, the mare by Luedam for the over-the-top stables. Daniel actually a past winner of the finale Grand Prix of the Winter Equestrian Festival as well. Won that back early in his career as well. So we'd love to add that again. He's on that short list of those that have already taken it away. Laura Kraut, McLean Ward, Ben Mayer, all on that list.
Yeah, it's a stellar list.
Yeah.
Of course, this horse has been a great partner with Daniel since a 5-year-old.
Yeah. Hampton Classic Grand Prix, last year's Toronto World Cup qualifier as well.
Lands a little bit shallow at A, and then just had to add a little bit of leg coming out of the double, and rolls the top pole coming out. But again, thinking about qualifying. She gets over that oxer, a little bit twisty there. Jumps this nicely, jumps through the triple well. And she's very, very soft in the mouth. So he just wants to stay off her, make sure she can jump around the jumps. Couple left to go. Chooses for the 6 and gets over that. So we'll just have the 1 down, a little bit close on the time, but okay.
Yeah, puts them into 9th place so far, Daniel Blumen and Gemma W. That should put them in all right for Saturday night, one would think. But there's a good way to go yet, as you say, 57 in this, so nothing's guaranteed yet. We'll see how it plays out, but that's a good potential one. And Eugenio Garza now, Mexico, El Milagros Contargo, gelded by Cornet Obolensky, the horse he rode at the Pan Am Games last year. 4th at Spruce Meadows, top 5 in Aachen last year as well in the Grand Prix there. They've got plenty of experience, and so a good opportunity for this consistent combination. He's also on the team that qualified for the Olympic Games at the Pan Ams for the Mexican squad, so looking forward to Paris, having qualified there.
Absolutely. Again, of course, individual teams have not been selected yet, but Eugenio and Contargo have been one of the most consistent Mexican combinations over the last period. Moves up here.
That's gone.
And that's gone. We're seeing that come down a lot. Now, what we haven't talked about yet is that B of that double sits on the big, solid Rolex standards, and the course designer has an option to actually use, there's a couple of strips for the cups that sit on those big standards, and he's chosen the ones that are pulled all the way forward, and it creates a little bit of an optical illusion. There goes the C, the triple as well. But those big standards, when you use the front poles, it creates a bit of an optical illusion because the horses aren't sure where this takeoff point is. And it's easy to roll that, and he does have the vertical at the Liverpool down as well. So sitting on 3 at the moment. And he's probably thinking a little bit about qualifying at this moment, just wants to make sure not to have another down. He does get through the timers okay.
Yeah, leaves him on 12, 18th position at the moment, 73.85, little out of character for that pair, Eugenio Garza and Contargo. Might well be down to pushing it tomorrow to see how they get on, we'll see. But it is a surprising dozen there for the Mexican rider. Canada and Vanessa Mannix, Vanessa with Laha, the gelding by Verdi. We see with Vanessa, who's been a very good performer in World Cups, especially in native Canada as well before now. Spent many years training with Connor Swale. That started out back when he was still in Ireland. And again, has been building up with a nice string of horses that she's got to be able to go out some of those World Cup shows and again here this week as part of this 5-star.
Yeah, actually, I hadn't seen her ride in person in quite a while. She's been out in California, and now I've seen her, and I think she's riding really, really well. Very solid. Has a couple of super nice horses. Good ride in here, but unfortunately that front pole coming down. We're seeing that Rolex double come down probably more than anything else. Either the front pole of A or B coming down. It's not the easiest.
Again, it's score protection now.
And there just looked like the front legs got a little bit tangled in that. Didn't quite set himself to jump it around there.
Again, another one that just leans across that vertical, going almost directly towards the international club there. Probably looks a little closer on the camera than it is in reality, but...
Yeah, exactly.
Coming home on the 8, just squeezing close to time. Should just be under it. Yep, 74.41. 8 faults into 16th for Vanessa Mannix and Laha this time for the Canadian rider. Another step up for them. Again, one of the bigger tracks that these pair have been jumping. They'll do some big jumping throughout the summer, usually into the likes of Spruce Meadows.
Yeah, exactly. I have a feeling they'll probably end up out there. That seems to be what their usual schedule is.
US rider Hallie Grimes, the Can We Keep It LLC of Texas's Chiqueto PS, the gelding by Diablo Blanco for the 21-year-old. Splits the time also with studies up in Boston too. Set up her own barns now here in Wellington. And after a very successful run through U25s, of course the years of equitation has now made the move up to the next level. Over to Europe for a tour as well season before.
And Hallie's been riding great. She's
Yeah.
such a scrappy rider and just always never giving up.
Yeah.
It's one of the nicest qualities. You know, she keeps fighting. She keeps trying to get to the other side, keeps trying to leave the jumps up, and a lot of grit to her riding. And this horse has been a really good horse, very scopy. And again, this horse is by Diablo Blanco, which is also known sometimes as Choco Lover. And it's a young stallion. And there goes B again. It's a young stallion that's really, really scopy and hasn't bred much yet, but we're already seeing a horse now jump at the 5-star level. It's a good sign as a breeder. But that Rolex double is certainly causing trouble. She has A
middle
and
pass.
B.
Yeah.
A and B of the double, of the triple coming in at those double verticals. And gets a little bit underneath there at the pinstripe rails. Just a little bit too deep as she takes off. One left to go. A little bit deep at the last, but the horse really pops off the ground and jumps around that nicely.
75.09, just going to put one time fault on the scorecard too. 16 for jumping, total of 17 there for Hallie Grimes. And Chiqueto PS so far for the 21-year-old, making the move up. I say it's been some good results in there as well this season for them. Now on to Jordan Coyle, as if we hadn't seen an Irishman for a little while, as we'll go on to the winner of last week's MS 150, and this is going to be the Falkirk Farms 4 Goals, that same winning horse, gelding by 4 Fashion, and yeah, he was jumping the Chaco horse yesterday as well, so it'll be interesting to see where he goes this week, but this could well be suited to put him in a good driving seat for that Grand Prix if he brings in for gold.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think he has certainly good options, and we know this horse can do it. It's already jumped week 5's Grand Prix 5-star clear, and on the podium. And then, of course, he was on good form at the moment because he won last week's night class. But this horse, very athletic horse, by 4 Fashion, which was a For Pleasure son. And you can see they really jump very similarly. Jumping like his grandfather. A little bit straight through the top line, but very athletic in a way. You know, it's you know, he does have the back pole there at the Rolex Oxer coming in, which actually we've seen mostly front poles there, not so many back poles. But I suppose with a horse that does jump a little bit straighter in the top line, if you ever had to say anything, it could be that they sometimes can cut down a little bit. Maybe that's why he has that Oxer coming in. But again, this has been such a successful competitive horse. You want to say it normally doesn't make a mistake. There it does cut down a little bit.
Again, they just tried to take that a little bit more on the
A
angle.
little bit
It
of a
just
slice.
got wide for them.
Yeah. I think maybe thinking about the time. And then as you make that slice, you got to remember, the more that you angle a jump, and especially an Oxer, the wider it rides. Because they have to cover a little bit extra space when you're on the angle. And in this case, it was just too much.
So it'll leave them on 8 faults, 72.65. 8 faults there for Jordan Coyle and for gold. And again, from what we've seen of what Guillaume Georges said as our course designer here, the time has just put enough pressure on. It's very achievable from that point of view. You can't, like we said earlier on, it didn't look like you could hang around, but you're not having to rush things, but you're just catching things elsewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, like you said, very achievable, so it's right on. You know, it makes you think about it. You got to pay attention to it. If you make a couple of early places where you just are neat and gallop away from the jumps, you should be fine. But if you are a little bit casual about it, it can catch you out. It's right on that sweet spot of where the time allowed should be.
Defending champion of the Rolex Grand Prix, Richard Vogel now of Germany and the Coleridge Equestrians and his own. Sapanu Balubey, a 10-year-old now, won as a 9-year-old, in fact, into their first 5-star Grand Prix last year. In fact, the last couple of years with Ashley Bond as well. And with Carolina Bullmore, they were also into their first 5-star Grand Prix. So we've had a little bit of first-timer winners. So we go picking through all the form horses, and then then we get something from left field. But as he's now the world number 9, he's not looking very left field anymore.
No, he's certainly not. Since he won that class last year, he's just been on a straight beeline towards the top.
This is a pairing that won the Grand Prix down in Monterrey in Mexico as well, on that beautiful field at La Silla back into November last year as well.
A little bit of a playful buck there. Again, this horse jumps really forward. So Richie's job as pilot up there is to just make sure that he contains that blood, keeps it organized, gets the horse to jump up and away from the front pole, and not jumping too quick across them. It's looking beautiful right now. Richie's so steady in his connection. Oh, ooh. And the skinny goes. Has it down behind, but gets over the last.
Going to leave him on 471.15 and into 8th place so far, so still in some money so far for Richard Vogel of Germany and Sapanu Balubay. Like I say, they will also be on the pre-qualified list, not because they're a medalist, but because they are the last defending winners of this, so they should be in as well as a horse-rider combination. And so we'll be seeing them on to Saturday night regardless, but their placing is going to be a little bit off the top, so not going to be drawn into last to go there. Petronella Andersson of Sweden, around the Stefex stables, Odina van Klubschutz. The mare is 10 years of age now, like we said yesterday. Previous winners here into the 150 classes too, and actually she spent more time here last season, just come for the very tail end of the season this time for Petronella.
I think this is the only week she's here.
Yeah. Come for the big finale.
Yes, exactly.
Everybody waits for the party.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's swooping in, all the Europeans coming in saying, we might have to take this away from you guys a little bit. But I don't think the locals are going down without a fight. Steadies up there. Beautiful jump. Gets through the difficult Rolex double. Neat turn back on the backside there. Can see thinking about the time allowed. Nella's been riding so well. She steadies up here hard. Fits this. Now has to leg out. Good reach there from Odina. A little bit far off the pinstripe boxer, but squeezes across it. Gorgeous jump there at number 10. You could see the horse really high behind. That was a really great jump. Jumps the skinny. One left to go. Looks good on the time. Keeps it active and add in her name. Absolutely.
So Sweden into the equation, not with the one you were expecting a little bit earlier on, but another who's shown great consistency too, Petronella Andersson. And Adina van Klubschutz gives us clear round number 7 of this $117,000 Adequan WEF Challenge Cup so far. And she makes the change over to US rider Lily Keenan. Lily and the Charleston Farms Agana van Het Garandel Z, the stallion, more known to us as Aggie, and much easier for that. And Lily, well, dominant week last week, winning the WEF Challenge Cup and the Grand Prix as well. And so, well, somewhere away making hay, she was certainly seeing the sunshine and taking home the wins.
She swept up last week. It was unbelievable performance. She was last to go in the WEF qualifier and won, and then ended up going last in the Grand Prix because of that win in the reverse order, and won the Grand Prix.
Yeah.
She had
it's dead easy when you do it that way. She actually won a Grand Prix in Terra Nova the other day as well, so she's been
just win after win after
coming
win.
through. Yeah, that was more on upward swing with new horses, but that, you know.
Yeah, hey, we'll take any win we can get in
those
this
always put you on a confidence run.
It's true. It's amazing what one good round and one win can really do for overall confidence, and it kind of runs through you when you have it and you think, oh, I can do this.
Exactly. Well,
unbelievable.
And it's what Rodrigo and Henrik were saying yesterday, you know, that momentum that you get when you get it, and, you know, both of those have gone through to the highest level of doing that.
Exactly. It's amazing how that can build on itself and just put you in a mental state and that sense of flow, right? You just want to be out there and you're not overthinking things, you're just riding. And Lily's just been so beautifully, and then I jinxed her.
Yeah, well, just really flattened on the way out.
Yeah, exactly. Just took off and just kind of belly low a little bit across A. Nagy had a big week last week. Jumped 2 very fast jump offs. That can add to flattening the jump out a little bit. But again, I think she's thinking to use Argon for Saturday night if she can qualify here. Gets beautiful height there. And then it looks like he tripped a little bit. She might have dropped something. Gets over the skinny. Good shot there. She'll do the ad here. Got to keep the energy up. Gets over the last. Not quite super quick on her time, but with the 4 faults, keeps her in 11th.
Yeah, 11th place at the moment for Lily Keenan on the 4 faults there with Ghana van het Garendal Z, so 11th spot for her. Not too many on 4 faults, actually. We've got 4 of them on pure 4, if you like, 1 on 4+1, and so that is it. 5 of them on the 4 faults, essentially, with a fence down as it stands, and we've got 7 of them on a 0 score, 1 on 1 time fall, that was Katie Dynan, and out of the blue SCF. And we're going to take a short break because we're hitting the halfway point of this class for the Adequan WEF Challenge Cup this afternoon. Thank you to Adequan once again, over 30 years of tremendous experience, and if you'd like to know more, you can also talk to your veterinarian as well. They'll be happy to oblige, and also head to their websites too, and they will be more than happy to give you guidance as well, of telling you exactly what is right to help your horse, and have been doing that for a long time now. Wonderful experience to have Adequan on board here once again as part of the Winter Equestrian Festival. 1:05 local time, as you can see from our Rolex clock there. Time is ticking away as part of Rolex Week. We're halfway through the Grand Prix qualifier for Saturday night. 7 clears at the moment. It's a little Irish heavy at the moment, with Andrew Bournes in there, Dara Kenny, Connor Swale, Cian O'Connor, but British rider Harry Charles to have a say. US represented so far by Caitlin Campbell, and Sweden represented by Petronelle Anderson, but a long way to go yet. Could be up to 14, 15. We'll see if we're doubling up the same way into this second part of the class. We'll see how it goes. We'll be back in a couple of minutes as part of this $117,000 Adequan WEF Challenge Cup, all part of the Rolex Grand Prix week here in Wellington.
It is not a machine, though the precision of its mechanics can draw some admiration. Propelled by a unique movement, graced with a singular drive, it has a personality of its own. It was born from a special bond. Crafted over years with infinite patience and utmost care. Listening to every tick, going over every move again and again to build a trust like no other. The kind of trust that allows you to push further, higher, always. The kind of trust that can transcend any challenge.
Doors lead us to places we've never been. Your dedicated Fidelity advisor can help you open those doors. They can help you create a retirement income plan designed to balance growth and guaranteed income, and provide access to specialists who help with estate planning to look out for future generations. So you're not just growing and protecting your wealth, you're sharing it. Because doors were meant to be opened.
My first goal when I decided to be a professional, it's to become like the best horsewoman I can be. It's really important for me to find the balance with my family, with the horses, that is my passion. Work with the horses every day to do what I love. I used to have like one passion was the horses, and now I have two with my daughter. So I really want to have this balance in my life. I'm Marie Ecart, I'm a professional show jumper representing France, and I'm Lola's mom. Be mindful, be present, turn on your brain.
So welcome back into our second half of this $117,000 Adequan WEF Challenge Cup here this afternoon. And 7 clears already into the lineup, and it's been a big lineup so far of very top-class riders. Petra Andersson, the most recent for Sweden, and we've got a strong second half coming up for you, including this to start us off. It's Adrian Sterlicht in the Starlight Farms of Greenwich, Connecticut's Orija van het Zuid-Pilotenland, and the gelding by Thunder van der Ziteve for Adrian to start off with the multi-World Cup winning rider. And again, for here this year, it's a 10-year-old that's just getting more exposure into these classes. Alongside me is Danny Waldman, who's been watching many of them throughout the season. And this has been a development season for them.
Absolutely. This has not even just been a developing one. This has been an unbelievable season for Adrian and Orija. They've just jumped clear round after clear round at the highest level, and tremendous partnership. She sort of stepped up to the high level and nailed it right off the bat. It's been a pleasure to watch.
So let's remind you, time allowed of 75 seconds around this course, designed by Olympic course designer Guilherme Jorge, designed those Olympics in Rio 2016. World Cup designer, many of the European and American shows on his list of successes.
She did a good job there. We've seen that Rolex double come down a lot because people are kind of hurrying through it, and she did a really good job of getting to the base and then just holding her shoulders, slowing down and letting the horse jump A, land, jump B, take her time, and she did a great job to do that. And then here, just getting a little bit close, losing the front end a little bit on takeoff at A of the triple. And now she's thinking about picking up the pace in order to just be as neat as possible. She now knows she needs to be quick on that 4 faults. So makes a tight enough turn back here. Patient. This horse very, very scopy. Just moves up nicely in the 5. So earlier fault at A of the triple, but otherwise pretty solid round.
Yeah, going to leave them on 4 into 12th place so far, 73-24 for Adrian and Orija. Probably going to be into the Grand Prix with that, I would think, but we'll see. I don't want to completely second guess all the time, because we'll get it wrong eventually.
Yeah, exactly.
But either way, 4 faults.
Estimated guess.
Yeah, Kendra Clarissa Brinkop now of Germany, and in time for the Stefek stables for the German rider, and part of the German teams before now as well. Started off with us just a few weeks ago, kicked off with a win in the MS 150 series classes there, and again has got a strong record out of Europe to bring here, and again strengthens up the lineup for this week's Rolex Grand Prix.
Absolutely. She's been super all season. Well, actually, the last month or so that she's been here.
She popped in for the latter part, as have a few.
Yes, just slipping in here to scoop up some of the prize money from everybody,
just
from the locals.
Coming to read the final chapters of the book.
Yeah. But she has a couple of really, really nice horses from Scuderia and Stefex, and beautiful there through the Rolex double. Not seeing too much trouble at the Vogel Oxer at all today. I don't even think we've seen it come down once. Wall also, they're jumping really well. This whole line, actually, I would say that they're jumping kind of well. They're struggling a little bit at that Rolex double, and then the next bit, we've seen A, we've seen C come down. Oh, there goes B. You know, that was a very light fault. It fell almost as she was taking off at C. And then gets a good reaction, a big jump there.
But again, a change of colour in the middle of the triple combination, just to, you know, eye-wise get you onto the last part before you've got the middle part done.
Exactly. You have the green and white stripes behind you, and then, you know, the middle rails kind of blend in with the ground. I think the horses don't really see that, and then they kind of look through it.
Yeah.
Don't focus on the top pole. And then she also has that Oxer, the penultimate fence as well.
8 in total there for Kendra Clarissa Brinkop, and in time at 73.71. So 8 faults putting them a little bit further down the list. Quite a few on the 8. She goes into 20th position at the moment. So we're just actually coming up to the 30 having gone in this class. It's top 30 from this class, top 10 from tomorrow's class as well. And so reverse order of this class 2 for qualifying for the Grand Prix on Saturday night for that Rolex Grand Prix. So whoever wins this will go last. Prime spot And René Dittmer now of Germany. The Live Oak Plantations Burlington Riverland is the French-bred gelding by Milord Carthago. Of course, we've seen him several times this season, including with Corsica, that he won the Grand Prix here in December. And with partner Chloe Reed has been out here for the much of the winter season. A few trips back to Europe, but much of the winter season.
Better place to spend the winter. It's a little chilly in Europe.
I know you like it warm.
I prefer to
Like
be
cooking, actually.
Yes.
You,
roast me and I'll be happy.
you like the same temperatures we cook at, but nicely through the Rolex double.
That was beautifully done.
But we saw that fence causing a lot of troubles in the early part. We'll get back onto that if somebody has it down, which they probably will. Not wishing it on anyone, but it's been a big feature of the class so far.
Neat turn back here at the wall. René, such a good rider. Really helping the horse curl around those double verticals. Then a little bit of help out at C. Did that beautifully.
Just might have to think about the time a little bit here.
Yeah, he had a little bit of a touch on the back pole, the pinstripe boxer, but just a light rub, so those stayed up. But like you said, he needs to be, he's being neat.
He's tidy there.
He's tidy. I mean, he definitely knows that he's a little bit slow. I think he's going to be okay.
Yeah, he's going to be all right.
Gets over the last.
It was just, as you say, just that final couple of turns, he just kept that nice and tidy, and that just kept them on track all right. 72-34, really neatly done from René Dittmer, smartly put together round, really thought that through. And again, it just didn't look rushed, which just for a second made you go, oh, hang on, but actually just really well thought through on his track.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you know, it is the horse that's a little bit slower, maybe across the ground, takes his time at the jumps. And maybe he was a little cautious early on, and then he thought, okay, I need to be neat. And that's thinking while you're riding.
Yeah.
That's a good sign.
A little bit breezy, as you can see out there from the palm trees. Well, the substitute palm trees that are out there by the pond. There's a little water complex down there as well by the ferns. Beautifully turned out arena once again. And so to Gideon and Kelly Cruciotti van der Veen for the Serenity Farm for this horse by Super Trooper Danes. And just a 10-year-old for Kelly.
And I've seen this horse go a bunch all season. She nicely steadies up here. Ooh, but just hooks it behind as she jumps out. Like we were saying, we saw a few now after the break that jumped through that double well, and now we see it start coming down again. So Kelly has B behind. Horse just never quite finished the jump behind. Like there, it really is opening up and jumping the verticals well. Unfortunately, having the back pole there at C. So some trouble in the combination there. Just jumped up real high and just never had the power to get across. Really landed shallow. You could see landed well within sort of where that oxer was sitting. No chance to get across. Nice stretch there. Steadies up here for the last narrower oxer. No trouble, but picking up a few problem spots around the course.
Yeah, total of 12, though, like I say, step up for them for Gideon and Kelly Cruciotti van der Veen. And so leaves them on a total of 12 at 74-16. Now to Scott Keach and the Southern Cross Equestrians, Noble de la Chapelle for the Australian. Top three into the WEF Challenge Cup, back onto Nations Cup week as well. Just a few weeks ago, back onto week 8, as we call it. In the real world, they call that somewhere in about early March.
Yeah, exactly.
Late February, early March. And so Scott Keach with the potential here to do that.
It's always most confusing because it's 1 week off from the actual calendar number weeks. Very confusing.
It's only in WEF world.
Yeah, exactly. When you're in this little bubble of Wellington, it's its own world.
You understand the world based on week something or other.
Exactly.
Then you have to get allowed into the real world again, and suddenly it's April.
Yeah.
Which we know is spring. Spring series. Anyway,
this is jumping great
let's go on to
far.
this.
And again, like you said, he had a really good result a couple of weeks ago in the Challenge Cup and jumping beautifully. Rare sight to see no boots at all on the horse's legs. He has white legs, which can tell you that they may be a little bit extra sensitive, and maybe Scott finds that the horse just prefers not to have anything there rubbing on the white legs. So he opts for boot-free.
Keeping it natural.
Oh, natural.
Keeping it natural. I mean, he's a terrific
well, it's
horseman.
working at the moment. So.
Yeah. I mean, he rode the Olympics in eventing and in show jumping.
So that is a very hard feat.
Now just keep coming. I was going to say down this line. Just put a little bit more energy into that one, and was just thinking about the time for a second there, because 74.10, but just on the 4th, Scott Keach and Noble de la Chapelle, and just drops the one rail, puts them into 15th place. But some really nice rounds out of them that we've seen in the last few weeks.
Yeah, absolutely, very good. He'll finish up a little bit of our slowest 4-faulter at the moment, but really they've been great.
Two complete opposites in types.
Yeah, exactly. And now we go to a completely different type of animal.
Kalinka van Zorgvliet and Carl Cook of the USA of California with the mare by Thunder van der Zoethoven. And as I say, we don't need to tell you why they look different, just two different types. We can see it. Fired up and ready to go. Carl straight in and going.
Straight in and straight to jump one.
Horse that won the Coachella Cup, the $1 million class in Thermal last year as well. Winner of the American Gold Cup last year too.
Was on the podium in the 5-star, one of the 5-stars last year here as well. And this horse, just tremendous jumper. Not a big horse, but she covers the ground great. Huge pop. I saw them win the qualifier and the Grand Prix in the Hampton Classic a couple years ago. And she is feisty, but really suits Carl. Just such a trier of a horse. She finds it when she needs to. And looks fun to ride, just like you're on a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or something. Looks fast and sporty. And scopy, just super animal. Carl moves up there a little bit. One left to go, fine on the time. He steadies up to the last. Oh, and look at the frustration on
there we go. Finishes on 4 into 10th place, 70.61. Like we say, two different types, two different rounds, but both finishing with the 4 faults there. So the Range Rover against the Ferrari, but they still come out together just on the 4, but a little bit different in terms of time because that's the fastest of the clears. Into 10th so far for Carl Cook on 70.61. Kristen van der Veen now of the USA with the Bull Run jumpers. Bull Run's Gira for the gelding by Eureka. And Kristen has been building up a new team here with the 10-year-old. Of course, had such success with Bull Run's Prince of Peace and Faustino de Tilly. Faustino de Tilly still jumping. Yeah. But again, that horse now, what, 18, 19, thereabouts from that point of view. And so next generation coming through for her, for Kristen. Now heading off around this beautifully presented course. Cheryl Eng and Peter Eng actually who produced the flowers. Cheryl oversees it. Pete, who's out here at all hours as well, driving, getting all the flowers fitted out there. They're a wonderful husband and wife team that do it alongside all the arena crew here who work tirelessly, and they have worked fantastically throughout the season under Lefty Gomez out there on the field as well. I haven't got time, unfortunately, to mention every one of them, but they've done a great job. And unfortunately, got another fence to put back up because it's one down so far in the Rolex double for Kristen van der Veen so far.
They are walking back and forth to that double a lot today. Front pole comes down. Same thing that we've seen. Just rolls on down there in the 6. And having it on the way up. Sets this up nice. This horse really scopy. It is jumping well. She just steadies up here. Curls around that vertical. Nice shot at the skinny. She's just trying to keep it organized. Has the one down, but again, beautiful jump there at the last. Gallops through the timers. And just with the one down.
Yeah, just with the one down, and that's becoming another of the longer list of 4 faults that we've got here. 71.94. Bull Run's Gyro going into 13th place so far. As we say, top 30 to qualify at the moment. That's 12 faults. That's Kelly Cruciotti, Van der Veen, and Gideon. sitting in that spot at the moment. So I think the 8 falters are going to be in for a bit of a sweaty time as well.
Yeah, I think they're looking solid, but they getting closer.
McLean Ward, world number 10, with Callis by Casal for the Beechwood Stables for the Revers family. Also knows several very good horses with him, including, of course, Contagious as well to the top there. Looking forward to seeing how McLean gets on this week. Of course, he's a several-time winner of the Finale Grand Prix here in Wellington. Now, can he do it again this week? He's got back on a groove. He was just trying to find the groove this season, and finally it clicked into place into the last couple of weeks, actually week 10, and with the WEF Challenge Cup and the Grand Prix that week. They're just starting to feel that it was going in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not that it hadn't gone too badly so far. He'd been on the podium in the 5 stars.
On the podium in the 5 stars.
Yeah, but you know what? If you're at this end of the sport, there's only one spot, and that's the first one.
Exactly.
And he's got there again.
Exactly. I was just thinking, McLean wants to be at number 1. This horse is jumping beautifully today. She's 16 now, but still looks in top form. Slows down. Keep an eye on that hind end. It's getting a little bit lower there through the verticals. Jump the Oxer well coming out. There it jumps much better. Gets over that, stays on the left corner a little bit, so he's on that inside track. We'll have to keep an eye on that time. I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
I think he'll be all right. Does the 5 coming home, and no trouble with the time.
Yeah.
Adding their name, beautiful.
Absolutely. So back for the jump off as well is McLean Ward, adds to the list and takes us to 9 clears now. So McLean joining the most recent Rene Dittmer, and another one for the USA now. Of course, he'll have his eyes on trying to get that top spot today, not only for the good prize money, but also for that qualifying spot in the lead going into Saturday too. Another visitor for this week is Germany's Christian Kuckuck and the Beerbaum Stables at Mumbai, the stallion by De Montesemi that's been a fabulous runner in Europe. And for Christian, part of the Winning Nations Cup team in Barcelona last year, team silver medal in Riesenbeck in 2021 on home ground, literally home ground there as their base there. And also going well in the recent Doha Grand Prix as well. Mumbai's been one again of the talking horses out into Europe as well for the German rider, based with the Beerbaum team as he has been quite some time. Doesn't do any great harm. It didn't do any harm for Henrik von Eckermann, who was there for a long time. Now world number 1.
Exactly.
And Philip Weishaupt, of course. Christian, again, good lines in terms of time from those early fences. Lands and then is always making a move, making some sort of track to get going again, not holding up on the course here into the triple combination. Plain middle part. Nicely so far.
Yeah, he looks good so far. Again, Christian, as good as it gets, and this horse has been a super horse for him. Very recognizable with the little brown splotch on his back.
Yes.
Little stretch there across that. Looks fine on the time. Gets over the last. He makes that look easy.
He makes it look easy, absolutely. So it is clear round number 10, Christian Kuckuck of Germany and Mumbai into the mix as well for them.
Really nice to see some of this top show jumping. You know, we have a privilege always here in Wellington to see a lot of good horses and riders, but to see some of these top Europeans who we don't often see or we only see on TV, it's great to be able to see them in person now, and they're really putting on a show for us this week for the Rolex week.
Absolutely. Jimmy Turano's been a part of this for a long time now. Jimmy with the Isloo Incorporated Jet Show Stables, Chewbacca HCC, the gelding by Claremont, winners of the Hampton Classic in the same class as this time into last year as well. Now for Jimmy, coming up our 39th of 57 in the overall order of this Adequan WEF Challenge Cup here this afternoon, part of Rolex Week.
This horse, I think, was it last week, jumped really, really well in the Challenge Cup. It had time fault, maybe?
Yes, it is. He's had several actually good Challenge Cups as well to go through that.
Really scopy horse, this. And actually, interesting fact, the father and the sire and the dam sire, both ridden by Rothmore and Bankston.
Oh, okay.
Clarimo and Quintero.
Yeah. Well, on the 4, again, now starts to hustle. And will need to hustle if they're going to be making it into that group. 4 faults at the moment takes you down to 21st place.
Ooh. Looking.
8 faults puts you in the danger zone.
Yes, it does. Big jump there as a reaction. He's a little bit patient with his time.
Yeah.
Again, this is a big horse, not the easiest to go fast with, but he does have one more down as well, so that's going to knock him out from the qualifying from today, but he's got tomorrow. He
has got tomorrow. 74-78, and so finishing on a total of 12 there for Jimmy Toronto, Chewbacca HCC. And so, as you see there, puts them into 34th position outside the top 30. I know there's been lots of discussion whether which they prefer, the days of when you got in the top 40 all off today, or you had another shot tomorrow, but there you've got another shot tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. I think riders prefer actually to have at least, you know, of course they'd like it to be 40 from today and 10 from tomorrow, but
I think they'd like to be pre-qualified.
Yeah, I think that
that's
too.
the ideal scenario.
For sure, but they certainly, it is nice that if you just have a little bit of unlucky day today,
there's a breather.
You do have one extra chance to qualify. That is nice.
Carly Anti now, the USA. The portfolio horses, Heavenly W, the gelding by Calvaro FC, which was a former ride of Michael Whitaker. And Carly, who's again been bringing this horse more into the 5-star Big Grand Prix so far this season as well. And very good successes here with Jet Blue too for the same team.
She had a really good round, I think, in the meter 50 final last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. She just gets a little bit deep there, gets up there a tiny bit early in the 6. You know, I think people want to have power to that oxer. You know it's a big oxer coming into the double, and you land shallow off that triple bar, you want to move up in the 6, and then they're all just getting there a little bit too early. Jumping this nicely. And then she gets right to the base at 10, but actually the horse then just backs up and jumps around that nicely. Gets over the last, but with that earlier fault,
now, time-wise, it's pretty good, though, 69.97. So on the 4 into 12th place for Carly Anthony. So
pretty good. She should be okay.
She should be okay from that point of view. So Carly Anthony and Heavenly W just finishing on the 4. And it's the fastest of the 4. So that was even faster than Carl Cook and Kalinka. And again, it is all about what you see in front of you. Didn't necessarily look that. Again, it's efficiency on the track.
Yeah.
Shane Sweetenham now. Shane with the Gizmo partners, James Can Cruz.
Everybody's favorite.
Added a European team silver medal last year since we've seen them in action here in Wellington, of course, and been on the podium already into this year as well for this fabulous combination that also won the American Gold Cup going back to previous in 2022. Gosh, that seems like a long time ago as well. But just a 9-year-old then on that occasion. Been a really impressive horse for the Irish and for Shane.
Yeah, I mean, this horse just such an impressive jumper.
Yeah. Won the National Horse Show Grand Prix. So top 3 in the Lugano Diamonds Grand Prix here this year.
Yeah, like we said, Shane's been really picky with which classes to show this horse in. I think thinking about the summer, gets a little bit stuck in the corner there. Fixes it well. horse has such an incredible expression on his face. There's a calm, relaxed look, but also focused. Clears that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Like we were saying, that I think Shane's eyeing some bigger things this later in the summer.
Well, and that was the interesting talking to Rodrigo, Henrik and Lucy yesterday about that of, you know, the patience you've got to have, but also finding a balance between patience and still being match fit.
Yeah, exactly. You can't just do nothing. You can't
Yeah.
just say, all right, we put them on ice and do nothing. It's very much they need to be in a rhythm. Like any athlete, you need to be in a rhythm. And but looking like Shane is keeping James Conn Cruz in a rhythm for sure.
Yeah, just ticks over nicely there with the clear there for Shane Sweetenham, James Conn Cruz to give the 11th clear round so far.
It will be interesting to see, you know, it is $117,000 for today's class. It will be interesting to see if the people who are riding the horses that they maybe will be jumping on Saturday night, if they're going to elect not to jump today's jump off. Of course, it's not always everybody's favorite to see that, but sometimes that does happen.
And also you're sacrificing a little bit of your slot depending on how many people. You might want to see how many people are into into the jump off as well, because if there's sort of 12 or 13 you're down at the bottom of it, it's going to make things a little bit different.
Yeah, exactly. That qualifying spot certainly matters for pole position.
Erin Ballard and hero this time for Alain Feder and the Esperanza Imports, and the gelding by Otangelo for Erin. Again, onto the team just a few weeks ago for the Nations Cup here in Wellington. Canadians again there on the podium. Just comes through the Rolex double nicely. Again, it's a good move where you see there lands, goes somewhere, not holding anything up, turning up pretty early on to this wall, confidently down to this Oxer, which again has just been coming up nicely on the 5 strides. They just drop into there into the groove okay.
Yeah.
And then here,
a little bit of a rub.
Yeah.
Wow, really kicking out there behind. Stumbles a little bit on the landing side. But Hero back up on his feet. Flying here today. Oh, and there she just kind of took the first one out of the turn. She was just rolling around the turn, never really set and jumped back and around that. And then unfortunately having the last one down as well. So it was a super solid round until the final few.
Leaves them on 12 and outside qualifying in 35th position there for Erin Ballard and hero this time, Lee Soken. Now coming into view for the US rider, and this is the High Hopes Farms Gail Vera, the mare by quality time, the horse she rode at the Abu Dhabi first stage of the League of Nations Cups this year. Again, been a really good horse for her, and through over to Europe on a tour there of Nations Cups too, including in Drammen in Norway. And now more 5-star exposure with this 13-year-old mare.
Yeah, and this has been a great partnership. I really enjoy watching them. I think a lot of blood, a lot of scope. It's really super nice horse.
Again, like you say, you've just got to be efficient enough in those early fences. It'd just be an opportunity to just drift a little on those turns and suddenly find you're behind. But
yeah, exactly. Oof.
Just reaching there.
Yeah, horse just jumped up and then landed real shallow. I don't know if she was just kind of looking through at B, but yeah, she just kind of jumped across the front pole and then really lost power in the air and came down very early. Gets through the triple nicely. Big stretch there. That was kind of a stretch they needed a little bit at the Rolex coming in, which they didn't get.
And again, 4 now, you just got to keep moving on the pace now, haven't you? Because
exactly.
4 faults is going to take you down to 23rd position at this stage.
Yeah, that's getting a little bit close for comfort. Little shake of the head there, but helps make the adjustment. And she's kind of middle of the pack with her time.
72.85 into 18th position for Elise Oken and Gelvera this time around. As you say, middle of the pack there. Maybe enough, we'll see. I'm not going to second guess that one.
Yeah, we'll see. There's still enough jumping.
Yeah,
there's still enough people.
What about just under 14 people left to go, so there's still a good bit of breathing space there. Peter de Vos next of Belgium. De Vos show stables 2P de la Roque, again a visitor this week. Horse that he rode to win the World Cup qualifier in Basel in Switzerland to start off the year. And 2P, plenty of experience for this mare. She's 17 years of age now. Been there, done it, got the T-shirt.
She's been there, she's done it, and she's done a lot of it.
Yeah.
Because she is a super, super horse. Peter just raising his hand. And they'll be off in a second. Another one, no boots in front. She's never gone with any boots in front. Again, sensitive white legs. But this has been such a great horse. She jumped the Rolex Grand Slam a couple weeks ago. Always one that I love to watch. And for a lot of those of you watching who don't know, Peter is one of the more impressive guys on the circuit because he has another full-time job.
Yes.
And he's still in the top of the world. Ugh, unfortunately, having the front pole down there, which we've seen now come down a lot.
Yeah, highly successful fruit and vegetable business back
at
home in Belgium as well. But he's won massive he won the Spruce Meadows Masters amongst you know.
He's a top professional athlete, but he also manages to have another business, so he's multitasking.
He just likes to do a lot.
Yeah, and he does it all well.
Yeah.
Mom's look like, or 2P looking like she's jumping really well now. A little patient here, but I think he's fine on the time. Neat back. He really slows her down for that. Does the 6, keeps the energy up to the last. Fine on the time, but with the 1 down.
Just leaves them on the 4:71.57, 16th position for Peter de Vos and 2P de la Roque, and so 16th should leave them in all right for qualifying into that Grand Prix as well, for the Rolex Grand Prix hot on Sunday night too. So Peter de Vos, again, one who's all the potential to shake things up here. Which direction do you go? We were discussing a little that yesterday, but we'll see what shape it looks like. But it's one of those really strong fields that it could come from anywhere, really.
Yeah. Hard to, you know, we usually sort of take internal little bets of saying, who do we think is going to win the Grand Prix? And this is going to be a hard one to guess because there's so many top combinations. It's not just, you know, 1 or 2 where you say, oh, those are going to be the strongest. This is, the whole class is super strong.
A bit of breeze, as you can see, across from the ferns, just as Natalie Dean holding hard there in the centre with Okota and the mare by Toulon for the Marigold Sport Horses of California. Natalie and this pairing also placed into the earlier Grand Prix in the season as well. Looking to step that up too. Been a very good season though for the 24-year-olds. They finished top 6 in the NetJets Grand Prix as well. Week 5 Grand Prix, similar position there.
And just love this horse. Just sporty, compact little thing. So much blood, so much power. Beautiful there, really athletic jump through that. Natalie does a good job, kind of keep her right leg on the landing side, just to guide the horse to the left on that 90-degree bend. Moves up a little bit and then can steady up at the end. That oxer not causing much trouble for people today at all. Oof. However, triple certainly causing trouble. And B portion coming down. Again, hard with the color change of the material, sort of blending into the ground. But another one sitting on 4. She'll have to see where her time finishes up. It's a quick course in general. A little bit long to the last, but gets through it.
Gets home in 71.93 just on the 4 for Natalie Dean, as you say, able to put a bit of a spurt of power on there. So finishing into 18th position so far, and leaves us just around 11 left to go. So they should just be about right. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah.
See what comes out of our next few. Sit and wait time. And, well, bearing in mind, we also have 6 of those pre-qualified out of this, and this is one of the pre-qualified riders as well. Kent Farrington, world number 5. Of course, silver medal at the Pan Am Games. That takes him through to pre-qualifying 2. Kent with the Rabbit Root Stables Tulane. And for him, already been a WEF Challenge Cup winning combination together. Went fantastically in Geneva as well at the Rolex event there. Won a superb class there early on into the week at top speed. Again, talking Ferraris.
Yeah.
But Kent, again, looking to come out strong this week.
That's such a careful horse.
Looking towards Landon for the Rolex Grand Prix, the horse he rode at the Pan Am Games for a team gold.
Okay. So then he's thinking today for Tulane. Again, if we have 6 pre-qualified, then that means that actually only 24 going down the list.
In theory.
In theory, it depends on where the
depends where the qualifiers are. So,
yeah,
whether if they're beyond outside the top 30, it complicates it. But
yeah, exactly.
I don't think we're going to have money outside of that. So again, I'm going to throw that back into the wonderful.
Although I will say, I think Henrik is out of it.
Yeah. So that would be 1 slot.
1 slot. All right, but Kent looking good so far. Horse jumping beautifully. Time not usually an issue for Kent. Takes his time here. Beautiful jump. This horse really pats the ground, jumps away from the front pole. Really trier. And, ooh!
No, he's all right.
He makes it. He
There
makes
you
it. That
go.
was very close.
74.97, just a squeeze under the time for Kent Farrington to give us clear round number 12. Remember, it's 75 seconds the time allowed.
That's a little close for comfort. I don't think Kent gonna like that so much.
Yeah. That was really playing with fire. Gregory Wathley of Belgium and James Bond de Hay, the stallion by de Montesimi for the European Championship medalist, major Grand Prix win as well. Of course, he won the Aachen Grand Prix going back as well. It was, what, 2017 going back to that one.
On Nevada, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going back there as well. And other major Grand Prix all around the world, from Shanghai back to Europe. And for Gregory, been competing over in California through the winter months as well. He went there a little bit too at the tail end of last year as well. And as you'd guess, has been winning. But unfortunately, has a second fence. Very few have had that.
Yeah, I think only
that
2,
makes you
maybe,
sweat.
2 or 3. Yeah, that is very annoying. Although I will say, sometimes having an early fault puts you in a mindset of, okay, now I know I need to be quick, and you can kind of readjust versus last minute thinking, oh man, I had a fault late, and then you're like, man, can I make up time at the end? And then you kind of hurry. Whereas here, you know early on what you need to do. And you can kind of readjust your plan before the rest of the course gets going. So not that you want to have an early fault, but again, it's all about trying to adjust plan. And, you know, it's a mental game out there. You got to be sharp and make those decisions sort of split second as how you can get things done and be efficient. So he keeps moving here. Oh.
Ooh, now he's in danger.
Now he is. Cameraman getting a little excited.
What?
Long to the last, but gets over
there we
it.
go. Gelbo's going, 70.07, 29th position at the moment for Gregory Wathley.
Ooh,
James Bond, just on the edge. And again, you know, we'll see how it all pans out. I think looking at that top 30, I can't think that any of them are not going to be going for the Grand Prix, looking at who's down there, but you never know.
I don't think so. I think they all want to jump.
Yeah, I would say so. Kathleen Driscoll and Rome for the Plain Bay Farm. Superb year that she's had here as well. And last year, terrific year, including winning Grand Prix over in Traverse City as well, up into Michigan through the summer months when Michigan looks like this does. A little bit of breeze off the lakes there and sunshine.
Beautiful.
Not right now, though.
No, it's a little chilly.
If you like to wear a big coat, now's the time.
For me, clearly not the place
It's
for me to
not.
go.
It's not made for you. I can assure you of that. I've come to realise that working with you enough. You're not a person into chili.
No, I'm truly a fair weather
Yes,
person.
much more of the iguana type. Is
Totally.
And so for them, they've been winners into the Friday classes as well in the 5 stars this season too, and she's had some good placings through the WEF Challenge Cup. So really good to see them. And again, she's got a couple of options to go to now.
Nice and neat turn back here. I think she's thinking about the time allowed. Again, this horse has a very big stride, but it's not the sort of the most handy and adjustable. So that means that she really has to think forward about her track and make sure that she doesn't get stuck doing 1 or 2 extra strides, because each stride takes kind of a while with this horse. So she's just trying to be neat and take the first one everywhere. She lost her stirrup, gets it back. That was a quick fix for what is always an incredibly frustrating problem if you lose your stirrup out there. Ooh. And then just jumps a little bit low there at the skinny. Never really got the body up and around it.
So just leaves them on the 4:72.68 inside the qualifying in 21st position. May well be enough there for Kathleen Driscoll. And Rome again, she said just keeping a little bit of pace on the final part of the round just makes a difference for them too. So Kathleen Driscoll 21st position. Clears, let's remind you some of those. Andrew Bournes, Petronella Anderson, Dara Kenny, Shane Sweetenham, Connor Swale, Christian Cook, Rennie Dittmer, McLean Ward, Cian O'Connor, Harry Charles, Caitlin Campbell, Kent Farrington.
Going to be a great jump off.
And it's never a top show without this man. Sweden's Peder Fredriksson, and Peder with Al Capone de Camille is the stallion by de Montesemi. And horses he's been bringing through, came through James Davenport back in the UK as well. And Angelique von Essen, his partner, who actually rides for Sweden.
Yep.
And again, I mean, he's been building up, you know, still got some very good horses there. Of course, we all looked at All In for years, the double Olympic silver medal combination. And of course, Olympic team gold as well for the Swedes. He's been such a strong part of that. He himself, Peder, has also been up in those top flights. I was trying to work out the other day, and I'll have the final figure on Saturday of how many riders here have been world #1. But off the top of my head, it's about 8 of them, I think.
Wow, that's actually an impressive stat. That's a very impressive stat.
Peder, just such a lovely, I'm not going to even say rider, horseman to watch.
Yeah, he really is. I was thinking the same word. He's soft, but very effective. And I will say, in a huge testament to Peter, he really has tremendous success in the last few years, and it really shows that perseverance in this sport goes a long way. So never give up on those goals and dreams, and clearly proving that he is top of his game. Clear again.
Yeah, there again, number 13. Maybe lucky, we'll see, for Peder Fredriksson and Al Capone de Camille. For the Swedish Olympian, and so he makes it an even more interesting list through. Still to come, USA with Bliss Hears. In fact, she's going to be, and also Margie Goldstein Engel. Israel with Ashley Bond, Daniel Coyle of Ireland, Carlos Sangarra of Mexico, Brazil, Rodrigo Pessoa, Belgium, Niels Brunseels, and finally Great Britain's Ben Mayer to complete. Bliss Hears first up of those. The Bridgeside Farms Star Quality Z, the 11-year-old gelding by Quality Time for Bliss. Of course, many followed her through with Antidote de Mars, and she's been really rebuilding the next stretch of the team. And very effectively got some very nice looking horses. Jumped a really nice one yesterday as well. And I think we'll see probably in tomorrow's class. And Quality Star Set is where she's going here. So we haven't seen too much of these horses that she's on at the moment.
No, exactly. Newer bunch coming out. They're all kind of at that peaking age now. She was saying she's been laying low while she's been developing them, and now she's got a couple more up at this top level. gets through the delicate Rolex double. Horse has a great expression. Sire of this horse was a horse called Quality Time that was shown in the U.S. by Charlie Jacobs, and it's now based in Ireland and at stud. And it's clearly given some really good horses.
Little touch.
Little touch, luckily getting away with that. Another little touch. Sits up nicely here. Keep an eye on that time. Moves up to the last, gets over it, but unfortunately she is going to be a little bit slow, but a good jumping round.
Yeah, really nice round for Bliss Hears and Quality Stars there. And you can see there she's got the makings of her next big set of horses, isn't she?
Absolutely. She should be very excited about the future.
Yeah, just on that time fault there for Bliss Hears. Puts her into 15th, which will put her in qualifying as well for the Grand Prix too. Ashley Bond out there now, and the Ashley Bond show jumping's Donatello 141, as I say, joins the list of those that have been past winners of the Rolex Grand Prix. I was out on the field when she won on Caroline of Bullmore.
That was a good day.
Yeah. Now Donatello being a past 5-star winning pairing here in Wellington as well.
Yeah, this has just been a magical partnership between Ashley and Donnie. Had him as a young horse, developed him, jumped, I think, a first World Cup as an 8-year-old and won it. And went all the way to 11th place individually in the Olympics. And he's not a big horse, but boy, is he a jumper. And they trust each other so much. A little bit of a touch at B, luckily gets out at C. Big high jump there. She's looking good, moves up for the 4. He doesn't have the biggest stride, so she has to move up. She does the 6, of course. Clears the last, and a beautiful clear for Ashley.
Yeah, absolutely. So takes us to 14 clears. Ashley Bond, never slow, and going to be a really interesting, colourful addition to that jump-off lineup as well. So Ashley Bond in the mix with Donatello, and 30th position now is the 4 faults and 1 time. That's Michaela Langmeyer at this point. Like you say, we've also got Henrik von Eckermann outside there, so I'm really looking at 29th position, which is Scott Keach at this stage on the 4 faults.
So a couple of big names certainly out of our top 29 at the moment, and, but they will have another chance tomorrow to come back in and try to get their spot of the 40.
Daniel Coyle and the world number 14 now with Incredible, which is a well-named horse. Because they came out just a couple of weeks ago and won the World Cup qualifier in Ocala. In fact, they were second in the qualifier for the World Cup in Ocala. They jumped literally 1 other week by the looks of that. Well, a couple of weeks overall, and that was it. Off and going. Won a World Cup qualifier already. Horse that was with Eric ten Kate of the Netherlands. And Incredible has been a good start with this.
It's been an incredible start.
Exactly. I mean, it's just all sitting there. It's out of a mare called Unbelievable. So I mean, how did you come up with that name? Daniel Coyle has been having a terrific run. He won the World Cup, as I say, just a few weeks ago. He was also on the Irish team just last week as well for the win there. He's won 2 World Cups through the winter as well, back to back, in fact, including in Leipzig. Won the London Grand Prix as well, and hence he's up there in the world's top 20.
14th at the moment, and certainly going to move up, I think, after this Cup this month. But I would say there's not another rider in the sport today that's as on fire as Daniel Coyle. I just see his name week after week at the top level in the results. And well deserved, because he is a super pilot. Strong ride here around the corner. You can see him really sit up. What he does so well is he holds his upper body back, and then his hands are a little bit low. That's just his style. And he really adds energy into the horses on the takeoff point. And that's the key to jump this high level. And another unbelievable round.
There we
Incredible
go.
round.
Incredible round, unbelievable round. You can use them all because it was out of unbelievable. There was by Heartbreaker, which is by, well, this horse was by Clinton. And so gives us the 15th clear of the group. And Daniel Coyle is making his presence felt. He hasn't been with us all season. He has been in the past. He's been based up in Ocala now. He's been winning lots up there and decided now he'll come down here and have a little bit of Southern Florida cash as well.
Yes, you know, it wasn't enough up in Ocala. He had to come down here.
A little closer to, sniffing it closer towards Miami.
Yeah.
And so Carlos Sancarero now, the 23-year-old Mexican rider with the H5 Sport Horses, H5 Orgy Horta. Again, 23 years of age, but already been on teams for Mexico on a regular basis. Jumped the Nations Cup here back to 2022. Won a Grand Prix up at Ocala in the World Equestrian Centre just a few weeks ago as well. And also a winner in the MS 150 series here in Wellington. So he's certainly been making the most of his time in the last few weeks here.
Yeah, he's been hot, on fire. A little bit deep here. Horse really curls around that vertical. Jumps around well, but having beat down. Again, that Rolex double clearly proving to be the most difficult part of the course today. We've seen the double and the triple causing trouble. And the skinny in the last jump, I'd say, probably the most. And that Liverpool vertical as well. But honestly, we've seen faults kind of all over the place today. It's looking okay, I think, on the time.
Yeah.
Should be fine. A little bit close there, but nice jump across the last one. Moves up for the 5.
Nope.
But hooks it at the end. Unfortunately, that is going to move him down to 38th place.
Yeah, score of 8 there for Carlos Sancarero and H5 Orgy Horta, so 38th position, as you say, outside the qualifying at 72.77. A little bit more time to sweat over the next couple of days for them. Brazil, Belgium, USA and Great Britain still to come, and a strong 4 to finish because we go to Rodrigo Pessoa and the Artemis Equestrian Farms at Major Tom, and the gelding by Vagabond de la Pomme. That was his ride at the Pan American Games last year. Also his ride at the Nations Cup final, where they rode the round to complete the qualification for Brazil into the Paris Olympics as well. And of course, he himself, Athens Olympic champion. Rolex testimony rider as well. And now this lovely pairing just getting in their groove for 2024.
Exactly. They haven't done too much this season so far. I think Rodrigo had a lot of his younger ones coming out. Just kind of saving Major Tom for some of the bigger events. Again, eyeing what's coming up this summer. But this horse, super talented animal. It's been such a great horse his whole life. There's a big article in World of Show Jumping last year about how he'd just been a top animal his entire career. Horse came through Michael Duffy. Ooh.
Yeah, just made a little move to the left. So
yeah,
it just got a bit
shifted,
wide.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Went a little bit out and then shifted a little bit across it as he jumped it. Of course, as we know, when they shift, it makes it wider. Steadies up here for the triple. Jumps around A, great. And then really high out at B and C.
Ooh. Leave it there.
Whew. Deep breath. Keep it together. Beautiful there.
Just got to be a little bit careful with time, because the time fault's going to make a difference. It is going to make a difference. 75.27, so the one time means they get 31st position. We'll see.
Yeah.
So Rodrigo Pessoa and Major Tom just on the edge there. That one time fault just tipping them over. Alongside that Michaela Langmeier down there, 31 and 32. But I say, I think we've got one pre-qualified in there. So essentially looking at 29, which at the moment now is Daniel Blumen and Gemma W on the 4 faults. 3 left to come. Belgium's Niels Brunsseels now. And Origi van der Rosberg for the gelding by Eke van Spieveld. 10-year-old for Niels. Again, major Grand Prix winner over in Europe. Cannes Grand Prix amongst a long list of 5-star successes for him.
Yeah, Niels is a tremendous rider. Has had so many horses over the years, and big mainstay of the Belgian team.
Yeah, I think probably first time here in Wellington, actually.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I don't think he's been here before.
Really nice rider, been on the championship teams. Through to the Olympic squad for the Belgians before now as well.
Little shift there, a little bit on the outside track. Beautifully ridden through there, just kept the energy up.
Just tipples the front bar.
Ooh. We've seen a lot of people not jump that oxer across the middle particularly well today. More back rails maybe than front, but those pinstripe poles, they don't jump that so well. They don't see them. It almost makes the poles look like they're moving. And he will tick the last one as well.
Yeah, that makes a difference. Yeah.
Be a problem.
8 there, 73.66, and so down to 40th. 8 there for Niels Brunsseels and Origi van der Vosberg. Like I say, it's a really interesting year, because in other years we've tended to sort of, if you're in for this week, you're probably going to be jumping the Grand Prix. This year's going to have a bit of qualifying, a bit of fight for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think tomorrow's speed class is going to be a little bit of a battle for those top 10 spots.
Well, it'll be really interesting. And again, I'm expecting what Guy will build is a jumping class first and then go from there. What we've tended to find is you jump clear in that and you're okay.
Yeah, that's sort of been the pattern all season. But again, this week is not following these patterns, so we're going to have to see.
We've got a few more jokers in the pack this week as well. Margie Goldstein-Engel, talking of jokers, she can tell a good joke or two.
Yes, she can.
She's also very serious as one of the past winners of the Rolex Grand Prix as well. Margie with the Garber show horses Bartolome and Gladewin's Decas.
This has just been a long-time partner of hers. Again, another one without any front boots on. Funny, you don't see it so often, and we've seen 3 in this class. Good shot there. Adding energy. You can see her move up there in the 5. Easy, simple through the triple. She looks good on the time. She's still moving. Margie's had a really good season. I was
just more staying quiet for exactly that reason.
For that reason, I jinxed her. Shouldn't have said anything. Unfortunately, she was just a little bit long at the skinny,
Yeah, she
actually.
was. Still in, though. 22nd position for Margie Goldstein-Engel, so she's okay.
Be all right.
Yeah, she's fine with that, with Decas. So, unfortunately, frustration of not being in the jump-off for this class, part of the 15, but is going to be in there for the Grand Prix as well for Margie. So, she'll be back to put maybe a name on it for a second time. Not many people have done that. I think McLean is probably the only one that's done it twice so far, off the top of my head. But final ride to go is the world number 2, Ben Mayer. Pamela Wright, Charlotte Roster's Dallas Vegas Bati for the mare by Cap Kennedy. Pamela has been competing herself here through the rings too, very successfully this season.
Yep.
She's been having a lot of fun here as well. Charlotte, who's just become a mum as well, so congratulations to her and husband Joey as well. And hopefully they can put the icing on the cake here with a win this week. Of course, Ben is also in the list of past winners of the Grand Prix as well.
He is, and he is also a pre-qualified.
He is pre-qualified as the Olympic champion. There we go. That finishes off my bio for him.
Perfect. And Ben is just probably one of the most beautiful riders to see in the sport. Classic position, incredibly strong and stable in the tack. Ooh, but he has B down. Just looked like the horse jumped a little bit quick. Jumped A nice, and then just jumped a little bit at B. Just a little bit quick. Didn't sort of back up and take his time and jump around it. So that means we will be on the 15 for our jump off. But
as you say, Ben doesn't have to sweat about qualifying either, but he would have just liked to have sweated it out with a run for the money this afternoon.
yeah, certainly. I think Ben was interested in trying to win this class today.
Oh, I wouldn't.
I think he was probably trying, but
yeah.
Wants to at least just put in a good solid round. Jumps
Yeah.
beautifully there at the skinny.
He's got ginger blue here this week as well, so maybe he's going in that direction for the Grand Prix. We'll see. Just reaches for the line, 72.95. He would qualify there at 28th position. Ben Mayer and Dallas Vegas Bativa say he's already pre-qualified through as well. So it is 15 qualifying for the jump off here for this Adequan WEF Challenge Cup.
And there's our list.
Shane Sweetenham not jumping off. Just hearing that one.
Okay.
And so the rest of them all going. Derek Kenny, Harry Charles, Keane O'Connor, Andrew Bournes, Connor Swale, Caitlin Campbell, Petronella Anderson, Renee Dittmer, McLean Ward, Christian Kukuk, I say Shane Sweetenham keeping James Cancruz back. Kent Farrington goes down there on the list. And then after that, it is three very good ones on the end in Peter Fredrickson, Ashley Bond and Daniel Coyle. What this will not be is slow.
No, it will absolutely not. I'm very excited. This is why we're all here. We want to watch top show jumping, and we are going to see, I think, what is going to shape up as a super jump off for the $117,000 up for grabs today. I'm excited.
Absolutely are. It's all part of Rolex Week here at the Winter Equestrian Festival finale week. And there we go, 20 past 2 local time on our Rolex clock. And trucks just head on in to give a little bit of water to the arena. Say sunny afternoon here in Wellington. What would you expect here in Palm Beach? And nice to see some crowds out on a warm afternoon. And just a little bit of breeze is just tickling through the ferns there. And our thanks to Rolex once again. Of course, they're a supporting name to many of the biggest events around the world. And of course, the Rolex Grand Slam Series 2 that sees them to the 4 majors. One already completed this year at the Dutch Masters just a few weeks ago with Aachen, Spruce Meadows and Geneva, and a fantastic lineup of shows both here in America and over into Europe coming up through the season as well. We're back in a few minutes time to see our 14 go for the final lineup of this $117,000 Adequan WEF Challenge Cup. Who will win? Who will be in pole position for Saturday's Rolex Grand Prix?
It is not a machine, though the precision of its mechanics can draw some admiration. Propelled by a unique movement, graced with a singular drive, it has a personality of its own. It was born from a special bond. Crafted over years with infinite patience and utmost care. Listening to every tick, going over every move again and again to build a trust like no other. The kind of trust that allows you to push further, higher, always. The kind of trust that can transcend any challenge.
us to places we've never been. Your dedicated Fidelity advisor can help you open those doors. They can help you create a retirement income plan designed to balance growth and guaranteed income, and provide access to specialists who help with estate planning to look out for future generations. So you're not just growing and protecting your wealth, you're sharing it. Because doors were meant to be opened.
My first goal when I decided to be a professional, it's to become like the best horsewoman I can be. It's really important for me to find the balance with my family, with the horses, that is my passion. Work with the horses every day to do what I love. I used to have like one passion was the horses, and now I have two with my daughter. So I really want to have this balance in my life. I'm Marie Ecart, I'm a professional show jumper representing France, and I'm Lola's mom. Be mindful, be present, turn on your brain.
Well, coming into the closing stages of this Adequan WEF Challenge Cup, and the Kubota tractors just putting the finishing touches here, coming from Florida Coast Equipment here as well, thanks to them, and getting set for that jump off. And it is going to see a fabulous lineup. It is 14 that are actually going to jump off, 15 qualified for the jump off. Shane Sweeten electing not to jump off. Here it looks like we've got Dara Kenny to kick things off, Harry Charles, Cian O'Connor, Andrew Bournes, Connor Swell, feels a bit of an Irish slant early on, and Kaylin Campbell for the US, and then taking us on to Petra Anderson for Sweden, Rennie Dittmer, McLean Ward, of course, for USA, Christian Kukuk. So we're going to skip over Ireland's Shane Sweetenham, Kent Farrington for the US, and then our final three sees Petter Fredriksson of Sweden, Ashley Bond, and Daniel Cole again going to Israel and Ireland. Jump-off course for this, over the course designed by Guillaume Georges, assisted this week by Andy Christensen and Jason Shelley. It looks like this. Danny Waldman alongside me. Danny, what have we got for that jump-off? We're kicking off over number 3.
Yes, it's 3, and then it goes down, which is the original. I thought it was the triple bar. But
it is the triple bar.
It is.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
It starts off the triple bar, and then it goes long run down to the Rolex vertical, which was B of the original difficult double, and then a right-hand turn, A and B at 8, and then right-hand 1, roll back 2, roll back on a new vertical at 15, and then long run to a new Oxer 16, which is the Oxer Adequan by the VIP tent.
Yep, looking forward to this. Here we go. And so the first of those up for the Irish Cavalry Charge is Dara Kenny of Ireland, and the Kerry-Ann LLC's and Carol Solak's Eddie Blue. Now, a Grand Prix winning combination this season. They've been and done it. They could well just put the pressure on from the front here.
Yeah, they absolutely could. I mean, we know how fast Dara can be, and this horse, Dara, really trusts to be super careful. So it'll be exciting to see what he lays down. Again, going pole position, going first is not the best, right? Because you just don't know exactly how much you have to do, and you try to lay it down. But to go first and win the class is just a difficult position to be in. But Dara, one of the fastest riders in the world, certainly has the ability. Let's see what he does. Coming off the left to this triple bar. Let's see what he does. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There might be a 7 there, and it's gone. And now it's right-hand turn. Jumps through the double and has B coming out. So it's now that right-hand turn to 1, then roll back on 2, and then roll back on another typical Guy course, twisty, turny, roll back, and now right-hand, long run to the Adequan Oxer. Again, Dara just slowed up after he had it, just wants to set it up. You know, he had 2 down. He thought, okay,
yeah,
we're not going to be high up there. We're qualified for the Grand Prix. Let's just set the horse back up.
So finishes on a total of 8 this time, 47.30, 8 there for Dara Kenny and Eddie Blue this time as the first off in this $117,000 Adequan WEF Challenge Cup. Harry Charles now of Great Britain, the world number 13, and this Casco Blue, the gelding by Chaco Blue for the 24-year-old. Been enjoying his short time here in Wellington.
Yes, he certainly has, and he's been doing very well.
Yeah.
Been placed in most of the classes that he's entered, and
that always helps.
That does help. That makes you have a much better time. Makes it more palatable, because we all know getting over here is no easy feat. So Harry off. Let's see if anyone does the 7 from 1 to 2.
Yeah.
Again, you got a roll back coming right after it, so it's not really like the most exciting thing to do. He's going to do the steady 8. Gets it done nicely. He's a little wider there than Dara. You can see the tracks, but Dara had it down.
He does not.
And he has not knocked anything over.
No.
Looking like he's smooth, but he doesn't seem like he's really pushing it right now. Again, wanting to be the double clear. Neat turns here.
Yeah, I was going to say he's been pretty tidy. I wouldn't necessarily say it was a breakneck winning round, but it's a really tidy round that's going to get some good money here. It might be enough. We'll see. But it's a really well put together round from Harry Charles and Casco Blue, 39.05, and so sets the target and says, okay.
Yeah,
see where we put it. See where it puts us.
Come and catch me.
Yeah.
You know, he broke that 40-second mark, so we know that could be done. And of course, a double clear always puts the pressure on, regardless of if the time is lightning fast or not. Any kind of double clear puts the pressure on because then it makes people run, and that's when the faults start coming.
Absolutely. Cian O'Connor now of Ireland, and Fancy de Kerguin for the Coolmore show jumping. Now again, difference here, we're dealing with a 9-year-old stallion of how much he says, I'm going to go to the well here.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think he's just been bringing this horse up to the high level, and it is just such a spectacular jumper, if you see that. I mean, he's just going to be a little slower on the sheer fact that he's taken so much beautiful time in the air. But looking like Cian wanting to be neat, but not crazy. I mean, he's certainly going. It's not that he's not trying to be super fast, but this horse just such a special jumper. Gets over that. Ooh. Curls over that a little bit. Runs to the last nicely. And he's close. He's not super far off it.
No, 40.43 in second so far for Cian O'Connor and Fancy de Kerguin. And so leaves Harry Charles in the front at the moment. So Harry's time 39.05. Andrew Bourne's now with C Top Blue for the Irishman. And this the QBS Equestrians and his own Irish bred gelding by Chaco Blue. Again, you just feel, I mean, again, having watched Dara Kenny early on, he just tried to stretch out early on and might try and take a stride out, but actually just gets strung out then of places here you might be safer just going in, but a little bit more cautious, but I'll get it done. Yeah,
exactly. You know, it's all about track and the jump off, right? You know, you got to leave strides out if you can, but that can pitch you further out onto a further away track. So using the track here, important. And he's definitely around where Dara's track was, but he looks quicker on the foot speed so far. Slices across the middle here, takes a good shot at that. That's exactly what you want. Neat back, steadies up a little bit. Ooh, crazy hard rub, but luckily it stays up.
Little bounce.
Yeah, bounces out of the cups, and now he's got to run to the last. I think he's quicker. But we're going to have to see what he gets over the timer.
Yeah, he's going to get there. 39.05 he's got to beat. Yep, 36.56.
There we go.
Yeah, as you said, I mean, Harry's ran, really nice round, but just felt there was still definitely more meat on the bone.
Yeah, it felt a little cautious to me. And,
yeah.
And now we see easily beaten, almost 3 seconds.
Yep, 36.56 there for Andrew Bourne's and C Top Blue.
Looking solid, but we've got a couple of really fast ones coming up. This was our winner from yesterday. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah, Conor Swale of Ireland and the man and farms Castorano. And, well, I just feel if you were comparing the two, this one might find just a little squeak more pace. We'll see. Who knows? Andrew Bourne has set a really good target for them. As I say, took nearly 3 seconds off, certainly 2.5 to that of Harry Charles. 36.56.
Let's see what they can do. Connor, one of the fastest riders in the world. Stephen and I were chatting before. Who do we think was going to take it? We kind of forgot about Connor a little bit. We didn't really mention.
Yeah, but we haven't put out on air who we said, so we're going to keep it that way.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking.
We came up with different names. That's all we're telling you.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Looking like the 7 is definitely not there, not for the rollback. But he's moving here.
Yeah.
Takes the big one. Oof. That's a lucky jump there. That's a place where a lot of times a horse will not be able to clear A. But he did a great job. Slice there. galloping to the last. I think he's going to get him if he can leave it up. He's not pulling on the reins. Yeah.
36.25. A little bit closer than you might think. 36.25 against 36.56. Connor Swale, as I said at the start of it, I think I just felt they could just nudge a tiny bit more out of that, and so it is Connor Swale that now goes into the lead with just a nudge. I'm going to call it 36.25 against 36.56. Andrew Bourne's in second.
Yes, looking good. Very exciting so far. Like we said, we thought Connor would be fast.
Caitlin Campbell and the 3P equine partners combination here. This is Castlefield Cornelius. We will see. I'm not sure they've got as much pace as Connor from that point of view, but I'd like to see a nice round of them because it was a really nice round in round one.
It was. It was a beautiful round. Connor took a couple of big risks in the jump off and, you know, got a little bit lucky and they paid off. So we'll see. She's doing the right number here. She is a little bit wider, though, already.
That's gone.
Than Connor, and that came down anyway.
So just sitting on the 4 for Caitlin at the moment. It's a really nice first round put together as well. Should give them good confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. And this combination, just super solid pair. Beautiful jumper.
There we go, gets it done on the 4 faults. 43-43 for Caitlin Campbell and Castlefield Cornelius still remaining with Connor Swale at the top of the leaderboard at the moment, with Castorano looking for his second win of the week.
Yes, let's see if he can hold on to that leading spot.
He's turned up for the week. They're going to be kicking him back out the door in a minute.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need to come here anymore.
Yeah, you said you weren't coming.
Yeah, exactly.
You went to California. You go back to...
Exactly. Go continue to sweep up out there.
Petronella Andersson now of Sweden. And so this is the Stefex Stables. Udina van Klapschut. Very tidy first round as well. I say being a former winner here as well on this 10-year-old. Won here last season.
Yeah, we know they can be super fast. But again, that time to beat 36.25, it's a tough one to beat. And she's off to the races to 1. She does the 7. And she's lands and kicking. She's doing it. But then slows up a bit here. Again, that's the question. You leave one stride out down the line, and then you gain one stride on the landing side.
Like I say, you leave one out, and it just fires you a bit too far beyond then, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of weighing that risk. And nice shot to the last.
Yeah.
She's pretty close, but not quite.
37.43 against 36.25, and so we'll go into third for Petronella Andersson and Udina van Klapschut for Sweden. As you say, just over a second in differential. René Dittmer now of Germany, the Live Oak Plantations, Burlington Riverland. This takes us just around halfway through this jump off for the world ranked number exactly 100 right now, 30-year-old.
Look at that. Kian started as 100 earlier in the season. He moved up a bit.
Yeah.
And Renee taking his spot.
Renee then Grand Prix winner here back in December. Just nicely down the line.
Yeah.
Nice and controlled. Yeah.
This is where Connor really just never pulled on the reins. He just took a huge shot there.
He did get a little lucky down there as well.
He did. I mean, you need a little bit of luck in this sport, too.
Nice, tidy turn back. Now, Connor was at this next fence in 27 seconds, so it just shows you the difference there of where they were.
They're already behind.
Gets them home just under 40, 39.70, top 5 for René Dittmer and Burlington Riverland. But again, wouldn't have really pushed that horse at this level yet. So, I mean, that's 2 good results.
Yeah, exactly. I think very good results. And I think that horse had been coming back from a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
And, you know, wants to push it, but not all the way to the limit.
Well, number 10, McLean Ward, and the Beechwood Stables, Callis. He's going to go slow. He's going to hold it back. He's
that's exactly McLean's plan. He's definitely not going to give it a go.
No, he's going after that time, 36.25. Connor Swell leads so far. Will he be at the end of this round? Grand Prix winners just a couple of weeks ago. Already been on the podium this season.
Does a good job. Almost puts a little bit of a bend so he gets a really tight turn on the backside there. But he's a little bit slower, I think, here.
Yeah.
Beautiful jump out. But he puts the pressure on now. Hits the gas.
Key to get a good turn, and he does.
Wow.
Whoa, no.
Oh, that would have been amazing if he'd gotten it done. He tried. I mean, he looked. He was on the inside track. He was trying to keep the pace up, but sharp turn like that, just too far away. What an effort, though.
Yeah, really good effort from them. 37.15, so not far away. And again, it just lost a little bit of momentum there too. So,
yeah, exactly.
like we said, we expect him to be right up there. McLean Ward just drops the fence there. They just turned back and just lost the balance and momentum coming in. It was just didn't happen.
I mean, he made the turn, and when you make such a sharp turn like that, you just lose a lot of pace. That's why we always say on those turns, don't slow down, because the turn will slow you down, and then he just lost momentum.
Revs just dropped off for him.
Yeah, and he just didn't quite get up
They
there.
both did a very good effort. Oh, well, never mind. And so saving it properly for Saturday night for the Rolex Grand Prix.
Exactly.
Christian Kuckuck now of Germany, the Beerbaum Stables, Mumbai. Every chance with this pair. We've still got Christian Kuckuck, we've still got Kent Farrington, still got Peter Fredriksson, Ashley Bond, and Daniel Coyle. Connor Swell could be 5th yet.
He could, but I don't think he will be.
I don't think he will be either, but...
Gets over that. He looks neat, but gonna have to see. Oh, this is a good turn.
That's a good turn.
Gets a little bit stuck, but that's what McLean wanted to do. Didn't get it done. Christian gets it done. Snakes over that. He's going for the last. Time to beat 36.25.
He's got a shot. He's got a good shot. And it's going to be 36.35. Whew. 10th of a second.
Oh, 10th of a second.
10th of a second into second place. Christian Kuckuck and Mumbai for them. Just not quite. A couple of those turns, they just...
Yeah, they're slipping out a little bit. They're just not
that.
having the traction that they want. And,
just got stretched out there, unfortunately, just on the turn. So, just loses them a fraction. And so they go into second place for Christian Kuckuck and Mumbai. Connor Swale still leads with Castorano at 36.25. Just trying to see whether they've got shoes on or not. But
looking like no.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it looks barefoot, actually.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. I didn't think that Mumbai was barefoot. But if you saw that shot. Seeing more and more in our sport these days without shoes on. It's a real trend. I'm curious if it's going to last. And, I mean, again, with proper maintenance and care, a horse shouldn't necessarily. I mean, they're on soft ground. As long as you protect them when they have to walk a lot on the hard, it is more maintenance, but...
and again, it's going to be...
Horses
is very individual, isn't it? Some it will suit and some it will definitely not suit.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no one right or wrong way to do it. It's very much about what suits your horse and what makes them the most comfortable. That's our job, to help them.
Ken Farrington of the US and his owner, the Rabbit Root Stables, Tulane. Now, these pair are very, very fast. If you ever watched the Class 31 in Geneva, they've got a 6th gear, never mind 5 gears.
Yeah, exactly. That's about as fast as anyone could go.
The question is he going to delve into that today?
I think with knowing that he's planning to use Landon for Saturday night, I think he's going to go for it. But let's see if he can catch 36.25. Does the 8? He's moving here. Ooh. And that's where Connor got away with it, and Kent, unfortunately, not. So Kent does slow up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to say he's behind on
he's
time up with that group now as well. So
just trying to keep it organized, knowing he can't win. Happily qualified, just trying to keep keep it organized.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. It's a good attempt, but
Yeah,
not gonna
gave it a
do
go, and 41.63 just didn't quite happen this time for Kent Farrington and Tulane, finishing on the 4 faults for them at 41.63. Leaves us 3 left to go. Sweden's Petter Fredriksson, Ashley Bond and Daniel Coyle to round things out. And now for the Swedes. There are the former #1 riders in the field. Petter Fredriksson with Al Capone de Camille.
We know Peter can be fast. We were chatting yesterday about his memorable round up in Stockholm.
Yes.
Let's see if he can try to replicate that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And he's going, but a little bit cautious maybe. Maybe did one more stride, I think, than Connor. And he's a little patient here.
Yeah, I mean, he's behind on time,
Yeah,
but
he's behind, but it's a good round. I mean,
it's
it's
good.
looking super solid. Don't think he'll catch him, which he won't, but beautiful double clear for Peter.
Yeah, 38.13, and so top 5, Petter Fredriksson and Al Capone de Camille. So top 5 for him, still with Connor Swell leading, Christian Kukuk second, Andrew Bournes in third. Ashley Bond, 2 fast ones to finish off with. Ashley Bond of Israel and Daniel Coyle of Ireland.
2 very fast ones. I think that Connor should be nervous about these 2.
Well, he's going to be top 3, put
well,
it that
exactly.
way. But
so
that's not what he's
podium
looking.
finish, so he should be happy about that. But if he wants,
He'd rather
we
not
know he
be.
wants the win. But
Yeah.
we know how fast Ashley can be. And let's see what she does. Nice there. She goes and then steadies up a little bit to the double, and
Nope.
unfortunately she steadied up to set it up right, but still has it down behind. So 1 left to really contest. And it's a fellow countryman, so we know it'll be an Irish win. But who will it be? Ashley still going here. Keeping it organized, but knowing she's not going to take the win. Eases off that gas a little bit as well. Beautiful jump at the last. He should still be set up nicely for Saturday night.
So it goes into 10th place for Ashley Bond. And so 1 to come, and that's Daniel Coyle, not to be discounted. It's going to be an Irish win.
Yes, it is.
I feel a pattern.
I feel a pattern also. Seeing a lot of Irish domination in the sport, especially in North America at the moment. This is not their land. They are dominating.
I think they might have had something to do with it early on.
I think they may have. You are correct with that. There was some settling going on.
I'm off to go and leaf through a history book.
Some settlements going on early on.
Daniel Coyle going to be last up with his winner from that Live Oak World Cup qualifier with Incredible for Ariel Grange.
And it will be incredible if they can pull out another win here today. I know they're certainly going to try. I don't think it's in Daniel's repertoire to not try to win every class.
Luke Beerbam just in the background there.
Taking a stroll around.
Yeah, 3-time Olympic gold medalist.
Some legends on the showgrounds this week. Daniel, a legend in the making.
Absolutely. Well, number 14. Door is slightly ajar. 36.25. Christian Cook, 36.35. Andrew Bournes, 36.56.
They're all close. A 10th, 2 tenths. They're close. But can it be beat by the fellow countrymen? We're going to see in about 36 seconds. And he's off to the races. Running start here. Whoa. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He does the 7 easy, but he is a little bit wide, and then he slips a little bit. And, gets away with that, and he's off again. but he's got to leave these up. Beautiful jump there. Sits up, thinking about maybe not wanting to slip. He's got to keep going.
He's not going to be fast enough.
I don't think so. I don't think so. He's giving it a go. Look at him. He looked
He
back
looked for
at
the clock. Yeah, we've got time for that.
Oh, and then he slows up. That distracted him, honestly.
There we go.
No,
He's good.
not
He was not going to get there, though, from that vertical, bearing in mind Connor was there at about 27 seconds. He was there in about 28, 29, something like that. So he was already sitting behind there, but he's not far away in the end. 37.08. We're splitting hairs and splitting half seconds. But they're into fourth place for Daniel Coyle, and incredible. Just as you say, just lost on one of those turns and
when
early
he
on.
slipped a little bit, and then when he looked back at the clock, I think he lost a couple of fractions there
But
as
I think he'd already lost it at that point.
Yeah, I think already from the slip.
So,
but what a great class.
Very good class as part of our Rolex week here. Winners of the Adequan WEF Challenge Cup. It's a second win this week for Connor Swale. This time with Castorano. Very well done to the Irishman, climbing his way back up the world rankings. Again, like I say, he was right about number 5 in the latter part of last year as well. Now world top 20. Just on the edge of that, and now is adding another win into the mix. And so Connor Swale for the Man and Farm with Castorano brings home the win here, and from there it is Christian Kukuk in second for Germany on 36.35 with Mumbai. Third for Andrew Bournes of Ireland, 36.56. In fact, Ireland with 3 of the top 4, and here they head in. Andrew Bournes in third, C-Top Blue, and then fourth place to Daniel Coyle of Ireland with Incredible. Fifth with Petronella Anderson and Adina van Klubschut. Sixth place to Peter Fredriksson and Al Capone. Seventh to Harry Charles and Casco Blue, and eighth to Burlington Riverland and René Dittmer. There you go. That's what it looks like. And, well, we've awarded it to Dara Kenny there, but actually it is Connor Swale. I think that was the jump-off order. That was the jump-off order.
Dara would prefer it that way.
Yeah, he tried. But just a perfect positioning. There we go. That's what it looks like. Final results, Connor Swale. Second place for Germany's Christian Kukuk. Third to Andrew Bournes. Fourth to Ireland's Daniel Coyle. Fifth to Petronella Anderson. And sixth to Peter Fredriksson. So the Swedes with a couple in there as well to shake things up. And very well done to them. And in third, Andrew Bournes with his own. And the QBS Equestrians C-Top Blue, readying for the awards.
But this was a very exciting class. So does mean, however, that Connor will be our first one to go on Saturday night.
Yes. Yeah, last one to go on Saturday. Yes.
Sorry, not first one.
Last one to go on Saturday. Well, he gets first place if you're counting. If you're counting it as a Formula One grid and he's in qualifying,
you're right,
he gets to be the pole position.
The pole position.
That's the one we're looking for.
I was thinking pole, thinking first.
He gets the first position.
I bet you he's hoping that he finishes first as well.
Exactly. He gets the first position you want, which is the last one.
There we go. There we go. I like that. You smoothed that over for me. Thanks.
Yeah. And as I say, remember also, we've got a 5-star class coming up tomorrow as well. That's 150 class tomorrow afternoon, I think it is.
Yeah, another important class again. 10 more going to qualify out of that class tomorrow. 4-hour Rolex Grand Prix Saturday night. So 30 from today, including those pre-qualifieds, as well as 10 more to round out our 40 for Saturday night. And I think we're going to see some incredible show jumping. So excited to see the course that Guy sets. He's been very twisty-turny all week here, and I'm dying to see what he sets on Saturday to see if it's a little bit different than anything we've seen him set before. And Gregory Baudot was here earlier in season. He set a course that was one of the more unique ones I'd ever seen in the arena here at the Wellington International. So very curious to see what Guy has up his sleeve tomorrow.
The rest are joining us now. There we go.
There they are. See, they were slow. They were slow. Second and third place.
It all depends which watch you're looking at. Follow the Rolex clock. There you go. Perfectly timed for Connor Swale walking in. So coming forward in third, Andrew Bourne's QBS Equestrian's C Top Blue.
Well-deserved third place. Congrats to them.
Second spot, and going close there for Christian Kukuk and Mumbai. So for the German rider, squeezing into second for the Beerbaum Stables. Not a bad result for them.
Nope, they'll be happy. They picked up some prize money. Probably makes their trip over here to the U.S. worthwhile.
Certainly does. And then our winning combination is Connor Swale and the Mannon Farms Castorano for the Irishman to claim his second win in 2 days. He'd like to keep that going.
Yes, he would. I'm sure he will aim for another couple wins.
Only time I've seen that was Lorenzo De Luca in Dublin.
Did he win all the classes?
He won 7 classes, I think it was.
7?
Something like that.
7?
Anyway, Irish National Anthem. Here we go. Congratulations to Connor Swale. And so the Irish flag heads up for the playing of the National Anthem of our winner for a second time this week. It is congratulations to Ireland. Connor Swale then is raising his hat and saluting. Very well done to him. As you say, it bodes well. He's in pole position for the Saturday night Rolex Grand Prix. Looking forward to that. Still a few slots to fill in there yet. And, well, just sitting looking at our top 30, we see Ben Merritt, of course, he's automatically qualified up there. Carl Cook, Shane Sweetener, McLean Ward, Keane O'Connor, Peter Ferguson, Harry Charles. Super list already put together. Still a few there with work to do tomorrow afternoon. Look forward to seeing you then for that qualifier too. For now, Danny, we're going for a little rest. It's been a warm afternoon.
Yes, it is. Thanks again.
Thank you very much. We're going to be with you then. Congratulations to Connor Swale, and well done. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for joining us. Have a great afternoon. Congratulations.